XM 189 and Internet 863, Reds on Internet 846. I'm Frank Trachtenberg for your SiriusXM MLB schedule for Friday, May the 10th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In Major League Baseball, 6:40 p.m. Pittsburgh Pirates taking the Chicago Cubs. Pirates on Sirius 209, XM 176, and Internet 861. Cubs on Internet 844. 6:40 p.m. Detroit Tigers take on the Houston Astros. Tigers on Sirius 208, XM 175, and Internet 849. Astros on Internet 850. 6:50 p.m. Tampa Bay Rays take on the New York Yankees. Rays on Sirius 210, XM 177, and Internet 866. Yankees on Internet 858. 7:05 p.m. Baltimore Orioles take on the Arizona Diamondbacks. Orioles on Sirius 211, XM 178, and Internet 842. Diamondbacks on Internet 840. 7:07 p.m. Toronto Blue Jays take on the Minnesota Twins. Blue Jays on Sirius 106, XM 179, and Internet 868. Twins on Internet 856. 7:10 p.m. New York Mets take on the Atlanta Braves. Mets on Sirius 138, XM 182, and Internet 857. Braves on Internet 841. 7:10 p.m. Boston Red Sox take on the Washington Nationals. Red Sox on Sirius 119, XM 180, and Internet 843. Nationals on Internet 869. 7:10 p.m. Miami Marlins take on the Philadelphia Phillies. Marlins on Sirius 137, XM 181, and Internet 854. Phillies on Internet 860. 7:40 p.m. Chicago White Sox take on the Cleveland Guardians. White Sox on Sirius 139, XM 183, and Internet 845. Guardians on Internet 847.
On the court and off, your home for the NBA is SiriusXM. Follow all the drama as your favorite team vies for it all. SiriusXM NBA Radio, SiriusXM 86.
Eduardo Perez was on SiriusXM MLB Network Radio talking about the Philadelphia Phillies and their success so far this season.
They're going to beat up on you. They're going to grind. They're going to grind at bats. Second time around, they're going to get you. They're going to see you. They pick pitches. They are a slug type team, and that's the way they're built. Does it make me nervous now that they're going to lose Trey Turner for 6 weeks? If you're a Philly fan, this guy sort of bounces back quickly, and I think they set 6 to be safe, to be on the safe side here and not try to rush him. They're going to need Nick Castellanos to swing the bat. Yesterday was his best day yet. Gets his first double of the season. Last year he had over 30 doubles, 37 to be exact. Finally gets his first double. He went 0 for doubles in the month of April. Bryce Harper, the home run he hit, another 3-run homer back-to-back days. But when he hits it to left center field, if you're an opposing team, I'm sorry. This guy gets locked in. He gets locked in with that. You let it ride. You let it ride in a major way. JT Realmuto getting on twice with 2 hits, a double and a single, working counts as well. The day before on Sunday, he got 2 infield hits. No other catcher in the league gets those 2 infield hits that JT Realmuto gets. This team is now raising a lot of eyebrows in this division.
SiriusXM NFL Radio Channel 88 brings you expert analysis from former players, coaches, and executives, plus reaction to all the latest news on the only 24/7 station dedicated to the National Football League.
I'm Frank Trachtenberg for your SiriusXM MLB schedule for Friday, May the 10th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In Major League Baseball, 6:40 p.m. Pittsburgh Pirates taking the Chicago Cubs. Pirates on Sirius 209, XM 176, and Internet 861. Cubs on Internet 844. 6:40 p.m. Detroit Tigers take on the Houston Astros. Tigers on Sirius 208, XM 175, and Internet 849. Astros on Internet 850. 6:50 p.m. Tampa Bay Rays take on the New York Yankees. Rays on Sirius 210, XM 177, and Internet 866. Yankees on Internet 858. 7:05 p.m. Baltimore Orioles take on the Arizona Diamondbacks. Orioles on Sirius 211, XM 178, and Internet 842. Diamondbacks on Internet 840. 7:07 p.m. Toronto Blue Jays take on the Minnesota Twins. Blue Jays on Sirius 106, XM 179, and Internet 868. Twins on Internet 856. 7:10 p.m. New York Mets take on the Atlanta Braves. Mets on Sirius 138, XM 182, and Internet.
Major League Baseball play-by-play is now on SiriusXM and the SiriusXM app.
Why do I love calling this game?
Calling this game.
Calling this game.
Calling this game.
Why do I love calling this game? It's because I get a chance to bring some joy into people's lives.
Anything can happen on a baseball field.
We've got a new game.
It's perfectly unscripted theater.
Everybody on their Because you never know what you're going to see on a given day.
It is bedlam at the bank as Bryce Harper has put the Phillies on top.
There's just something about baseball on the radio.
Something about the way wood hits leather.
A swing and a drive to deep left center.
The way leather hits dirt.
And he made the play. Oh, my.
The way a deep fly ball sounds like it's about to change history.
High fly ball to center field. It's hit pretty well toward the wall.
Until the cleats hit the grass, hit the crushed brick, and then nothing but sky and a silent crowd.
That ball's high.
Until leather hits leather and 40,000 fans lose their collective minds.
In a perfect symphony of chaos.
He jumped up on top of the wall, balanced himself, and caught it.
The way nothing triumphs a perfectly honest call.
I don't believe what I just saw.
And the way the right voice can make a moment live forever.
Touch 'em all, Joe. You'll never hit a bigger home run in your life.
Outsiders may think this is just two teams.
The ball, a bat, and a microphone. But no.
For over 100 years, this has been the soundtrack of the American pastime.
He struck it out looking. It's over. It's over. The Rangers have won the World Series.
The soundtrack of summer. This is Major League Baseball on the radio.
Right now on Sirius XM.
All rise.
Coming in 5.
Get ready to play.
4.
Get up. Get up.
3.
Can you believe it?
Put your seatbelt on.
Wow. My goodness.
Major League Baseball play-by-play is now on Sirius XM and the Sirius XM app.
Fantasy Sports Radio is helping you win your fantasy leagues right now on Channel 87.
It's a home run for Ronald Acuna.
From in-season fantasy baseball management to daily fantasy playoff basketball to reacting to the NFL draft, Fantasy Sports Radio is here to help you dominate.
Don't ever take a player that you don't intend to keep all year. Don't do it. It's terrible management.
Fantasy Sports Radio, your home for fantasy sports. Channel 87 and on the all-new Sirius XM app.
The NASCAR Cup Series is on Sirius XM. We're back on the track Sunday,
2 p.m. Eastern.
It's the Goodyear 400 from Darlington Raceway.
Checker flag, baby. Yeah.
On Sirius XM NASCAR Radio Channel 90 in the car and on the all-new Sirius XM app. Get closer to everything that moves you wherever you are with the Sirius XM app.
Let's make some smoke and drink some beer. Yeah.
Wake up! Wake up, everybody!
This is Steve Phillips from the Leadoff Spot on MLB Network Radio. Join me and former Major League Baseball players Eduardo Perez and Xavier Scruggs as we react to all the latest news and scores across baseball and have plenty of fun along the way.
Steve, you were so right about that.
I don't know if anybody else thinks we're funny, but I think we're funny.
Why are you putting us or we into this?
The Leadoff Spot, weekdays at 7 a.m. Eastern on MLB Network Radio, Channel 89, and on the Sirius XM app.
This is Bob Kendrick, president of the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum and host of the Sirius XM original podcast, Black Diamonds. Hear stories about the legends of the Negro Leagues and conversations with the all-time greats they've influenced, like 5-time World Series champion Derek Jeter.
I don't care what race you are. You need to know your past. This is U.S. history. It's not just baseball history.
Hear over 70 episodes of the award-winning Black Diamonds podcast, available now on the Sirius XM app or wherever you get your podcasts.
There is no competition in soccer quite like the UEFA Champions League. And it's on Sirius XM FC.
Kylian Mbappe delivering when it matters most.
The stakes are higher now in the knockout stage, where one goal can transform a club's trajectory.
Jude Bellingham's driving scores!
And one performance can turn a star into an immortal.
Harry Kane finishes off the game.
It's the Champions League knockout stage, and all the top matches are on Sirius XM FC 157 and the all-new Sirius XM app.
The Busted Open podcast is now available on YouTube. This is Dave LaGreca, host of Busted Open, the #1 pro wrestling show on the planet. You can now watch and listen to the award-winning Busted Open podcast every single day on YouTube. Our best interviews, behind-the-scenes access, and some of our best content from the past. All available right now when you go to youtube.com/@BustedOpenPodcast. Subscribe right now.
Fantasy Sports Radio is helping you win whichever fantasy sport you play. Right now on Channel 87 and on the all-new Sirius XM app.
Way back! Way gone!
Is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Low rounding and heading for second. The throw! In time!
On the Sportsnet Radio Network.
A rivalry
rekindled 7 months after the Twins swept the Blue Jays in the wild card and limited Toronto to just 1 run. Minnesota visits Rogers Center. The Twins bring some heat across the border, having won 15 of 17 games. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the first of this weekend series. I'm Ben Schulman with Mississauga's own Chris LaRue. Show Ali is our host and producer with Tom Young and Luke Swadron as our technical directors. Toronto Blue Jays baseball is brought to you by the local family-owned Crown Rust Control Centers in Almont and Carlton Place. Protect your vehicle from rust today. Find your local family-owned Crown at crown.com, Canada's #1 rust protection. All the drama last year between the Blue Jays and Twins culminated in a decision to bring Yusei Kikuchi out of the bullpen in Game 2. In Game 1 of this series, Kikuchi gets the start and sports the lowest ERA in the Toronto rotation, 2.72. Opposing him, resurgent righty Joe Ryan looks for a win at Rogers Center for the second straight year. Twins and Blue Jays are next. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, streaming on the Sportsnet app, sportsnet.ca, and across the Sportsnet radio network.
Not tomorrow, not someday. The home improvements begin today. It's game on with Timber Mart. Build that deck, raise that fence, landscape till your property is beautiful. Don't pay for 12 months on the Timber Mart deferred payment program. Your locally owned, completely Canadian hub of building and renovation expertise. Get your Timber Mart credit card at participating locations and pay later. 12 months later. Conditions apply. Ask in store for details or apply at timbermart.ca.
At Crown Rust Control Center, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control Center is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know spring's the best time of year to protect your vehicle from rust? For a special spring offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
Bring excitement to your landscape with Proven Winners Color Choice shrubs. These flowering shrubs and evergreens have been trialed and tested by experts to make sure they look better and bloom better. So they're just as easy to care for as what's in your landscape now, but a whole lot more colorful and interesting. Look for Proven Winners Color Choice shrubs in the distinctive white container at your local garden center or learn more at provenwinnerscolorchoice.com.
Fuel your fandom when you listen to live sports on the all-new Sirius XM app.
It's deep, it's going, and it is gone! It is bedlam at the bank!
Hear the games you just can't miss.
DiVincenzo again! Knicks lead! 13 seconds to go!
And get closer to the teams you love wherever you are.
Connor McDavid wins the game for Edmonton!
The action you crave is just a tap away. Live sports. Live on the all-new Sirius XM app.
You gotta love sports!
Scotty Scheffler is the Masters champion.
The biggest events in golf are on PGA Tour Radio, Channel 92 in the car, and on the Sirius XM app.
Sportsnet Radio Network.
George, he's not in the lineup tonight. He's still kind of battling some sickness, like a lot of guys are, myself included. So we're going to give Schneider a go at the one hole.
John, have you or the coaching staff had to have a conversation about going from where he was hitting to the leadoff spot? He's very aggressive, right?
What I told him today was, last night, don't change. Go have good at bats, swing at the right pitches, hit the ball hard, and do what you've been doing. You know, that's made you pretty successful to this point. So whether it's the first pitch or the ninth pitch, you know, I think what's nice about his at-bats is that they're consistent. He's going to, work a pitcher and get a pitch that he's comfortable swinging at and a pitch that he can hit hard. So whether it's early in the count or later in the count, just keep doing what you're doing.
Yes, you heard that right. Davis Schneider leads off for the Blue Jays tonight in their first of 3 with George Springer out of the lineup against the Minnesota Twins. Welcome back to Rogers Center. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Before we get into this one, Chris, the obvious thing that many fans on both sides probably are thinking about is the wild card series last year. You were in Minnesota. The team has largely kind of thrown away the idea that they want revenge, that they're thinking it all about last year, but this would have to be a big 3 games for the Blue Jays after how things ended.
Well, I think it's a huge game. I think if they said they forgot about last year, I feel like that's a little bit of a lie. If I was a player in that dugout, I'm thinking we could have done more, we could have been better, things could have been completely different had decisions been different. And let's just be honest with each other. If the decision was made to keep Jose Barrios in that game, the game could have been completely different. Now, Yusei Kikuchi comes in that ball game. He didn't pitch poorly.
You got to score runs to win a
exactly,
baseball game.
And I
lose 2-0.
I was about to say you have to look yourself in the mirror at that point and say Yusei Kikuchi didn't come in that ball game and blow the ball game. The offense didn't do anything. So you kind of have to look yourself in the mirror and just say, is it the offense's fault? Is it the manager's fault? Is it Ross Atkins' fault? I think at this point you don't forget about those types of games, but you have to stop making excuses and stop blaming it on John Schneider, stop blaming it on Ross Atkins, and kind of come to the conclusion that we didn't score any runs.
Blue Jays taking on the Twins, trying to get revenge potentially from last season. Before we get to the lineups in the game today, let's take a look at the standings update brought to you by Bet365. Download the Bet365 app for today's baseball odds and find out why it's never ordinary at Bet365. 19 plus, play responsibly, Ontario only. Baltimore opens today with a division lead, 24-12. The Yankees half a game back, 25-14. Boston Red Sox are 19-18, 5.5 back. The Rays 19-19, 6 back, and the Blue Jays 17-20, 7.5 back. And you do have New York and Tampa Bay squaring off right now. On the other side, Minnesota second in the AL Central at 22-15, a game and a half back of the division leaders in Cleveland. You also mentioned the lack of hitting that came up. Let's take a look at both lineups, as neither had, offensive explosions in their wild card series last year. The Twins will sport a specific lineup against Yusei Kikuchi that has no one batting left. It starts with DH Ryan Jeffers. Shortstop Carlos Correa hits second. Willie Castro, the center fielder, bats third. It's Jose Miranda, the third baseman, hitting cleanup. The right fielder Manuel Margot hits fifth. First baseman and veteran Carlos Santana hits sixth. Kyle Farmer, the second baseman, bats seventh. Catcher Christian Vasquez hits eighth. And Austin Martin, the former Blue Jay first-round pick, plays left field and hits ninth. Joe Ryan will pitch for the Minnesota Twins. Opposing him, Yusei Kikuchi, and the Blue Jays lineup is as follows. Leading off in left field, Davis Schneider. Dalton Varsho, the center fielder, bats second. The first baseman, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., hits third. Cleaning up the DH, Justin Turner. Then Danny Jansen, the catcher. After that, batting sixth, shortstop Bo Bichette. The right fielder and seven hitters, Kevin Biggio. Isaiah Kiner-Falefa plays second and hits eighth. And Ernie Clement plays third and bats ninth. Right-handed catcher DH Ryan Jeffers stepping into the box. Yusei Kikuchi on the rubber. And the left-hander getting primed here for his eighth start of the season. Here's the pitch. It's a fastball for strike one. Time of the first pitch, 7:08. Indoor again at Rogers Center. Still waiting for our first open roof day here at Rogers Center. Here's the 0-1. Hit well to left field. On a line, it's cut off and caught by Davis Schneider for the first out.
And right on cue, Yusei Kikuchi threw two quick strikes. He's walked just two guys in his last 24 innings.
It's been really good so far this year. Enters today with a 2-2 record and a 2.72 ERA. One out in the top of the first inning. Nobody on, no score. And Carlos Correa steps in, the Twins shortstop. First pitch. Fouled back, 0-1. This first inning is brought to you by Armstrong Bird Food. Bring nature to your backyard with Armstrong. Feeding Blue Jays since 1986. Visit ArmstrongBirdFood.com. Correa, a 261 hitter, faces the 0-1 and takes it for strike two. That was the curveball from Kikuchi. He threw that curveball 40 times in his last start. By far a career high. Ahead, no balls and two strikes. His pitch to Correa. Bounced a slider in the dirt. Ball one.
Well, you mentioned that curveball. Overall, he's throwing that thing 30% of the time. That four-seamer, he'll throw about 46% of the time. And then usually that back foot slider that he throws so often to right-handed hitters, he'll mix that in 19% of the time.
Last year it was more sliders than curves. This year that's flipped. 1-2 to Correa. Broken bat looper towards center. Varsho charging in, and it bounces in front of him. Hesitated for a moment and thought about the dive, but then played it safe. So it's a bloop single for Correa with 1 out.
I don't mind that play. Playing it safe there, keeping Carlos Correa on first base. If Dalton Varsho dives for that ball and he somehow doesn't come up with it, Carlos Correa is standing on second base and in a worst-case scenario, standing on third base.
Instead, it's Correa on first with 1 out. Here's Willie Castro, the switch-hitting center fielder. He'll bat right against Kikuchi. A look at Correa and the pitch. High and outside, ball 1. Castro off to a strong start in his second season with the Twins. Hitting .272, 3 homers, 14 driven in, has 9 doubles as well. 1-0. Swing and a miss. Stumbling over the plate to the lefty side as he was early on that curve. Castro taps the far corner of the plate. Ernie Clement creeping in at third base, wary of a bunt from the speedy center fielder. 1-1. Fastball for a strike, 1-2.
So nasty right there. He flips in that 81-mile-an-hour curveball, and then he just dots that 96-mile-an-hour fastball right on the outside corner. Willie Castro kind of shaking his head in disbelief.
Castro asked for time, got it, steps back into the box. Correa on first, 1 out, no score. Top of the first inning. 1-2 pitch to Castro. Fouled off.
Danny Jansen tried to fake everybody out there. He patted his glove on the dirt like they were going to throw either a curveball or a back foot slider there, and then they elevated with that 97. He actually does that quite often. Tries to fake out the other team.
Maybe worried about base coaches, base runners, looking at where he's set up. 1-2 again. Up the middle, a ground ball that gets into center field for a base hit. Correa rounds second. He'll stop and head back to the bag. It's back-to-back 2-strike singles for the Twins, and there are 2 on here with 1 out.
Well, he just missed his location there with that curveball. It was supposed to be down, possibly in the dirt, and he just left it right over the middle. Willie Castro didn't hit it hard, but he hit it in the right spot, right up the middle.
So it's Castro on first and Correa on second. Top of the first inning, 1 out. And today's cleanup hitter, Jose Miranda, the third baseman, steps in. Slightly closed stance for the right-handed hitter. And the pitch. Outside, ball 1. For Miranda, it's his 25th game of the year. Hitting in the 290s. Not a ton of power so far. Does have 7 doubles, but just 2 homers. 1-0. Swing and a miss. Got him to lean forward on that curveball. 1 ball, 1 strike.
I love that Yusei is mixing in that curveball, that slider combination when he's behind in the count. Not only when he's ahead, but it's really important in the big leagues to throw backwards and mix in those off-speed pitches behind in counts.
Lefty's going to step off and just look over at Correa. For Kikuchi, the curve was a pitch he added last season, and I asked John Schneider about it a couple starts ago. He said it doesn't look different in shape or anything. He's just more confident with it than he was last year. Next pitch is on the ground, a soft roller into right field for a base hit. Correa gets the wave, picked up and right by Biggio. He'll throw over to third where it's a head-first dive save from Castro. A run scores on the Jose Miranda weak RBI single. Castro goes first to third, and there are runners on the corners. 1-0 Minnesota, top of the first.
Yeah, again, not hit incredibly hard, but Miranda does a good job of finding that hole. IKF was kind of shaded towards second base, and Vlad was closer to first base there, and Miranda just finds that big hole on the right side of that infield.
None of the 3 Twins hits were especially tagged so far this inning, but 3 in a row have made it 1-0. 1 out, runners on the corners. Manuel Margot is up. And the first pitch is sliced foul toward the first base dugout of the Twins, 0-1. Home plate umpire tonight is Tom Hanahan. Phil Cuzzy umpires first. It's Alex Tosi out at second, and the crew chief Dan Bellino mans third. Willie Castro on third base. Jose Miranda on first with 1 out. The 0-1 to Manuel Margot. It's low, ball 1. Margot in his first year in Minnesota, third team for him, longtime Ray, longtime Padre. 1-1 pitch is grounded foul, just wide of that third base bag. That's a break for the Blue Jays, 1-2.
And again, there's that big hole on the right side. IKF was shaded towards second. Actually, he's starting to move closer to first base now, closing that gap, but the hole over there is still pretty big.
Blue Jays can end the inning if they turn 2. 1 run in already for Minnesota. Kikuchi's going to step off. Margot never left the box. He's ready. So is Kikuchi. 1-2. Popped him up. Back of second. Long run IKF. Biggio sprinting toward the line. Makes the catch. Runner tagging, and the throw will go to the plate. He was just fainting. He gets back to third, does Castro. Same with Miranda. Too shallow for a sac fly. Nice play and throw by Kevin Biggio. 2 outs.
Yeah, good job by Willie Castro, at least faking like he was going to run home. You always want to force the outfielders to at least make a throw. Maybe they make an errant throw. Maybe they throw something away. But, of course, Kevin Biggio there with the bullet to home plate right to the chest of Danny Jansen.
Maybe just testing Biggio as well with George Springer not in the lineup tonight. Biggio has played well out there but hasn't played there a ton so far this season. Danny Jansen's going to go out to the mound, by the way, and talk to Yusei Kikuchi before Carlos Santana, the veteran switch-hitting first baseman, takes his first rips of the day. One 0 Twins, runners on the corners, a broken bat, looper to center, and then 2 ground ball hits for the Twins have opened up the scoring in the top of the first. Here comes Santana, a really talented hitter who is off to a tough start so far this year, batting .192 in 34 games. First pitch. Outside, ball 1.
He does have 4 homers, though, so you do have to be careful. Whether it's from the right side or the left side, Carlos Santana always a threat.
38-year-old had a big homer in this building in the playoffs 2 years ago. 1-0. Called strike.
And he is just dotting that fastball so far. Good life through the strike zone, down in the zone. I think he's shying away from it, though. I don't understand why he does that. He has such a great fastball, but he just shies away from it.
1-1. Runner goes from first and stops in the middle. Throw to second. Castro takes off at the plate. IKF back to Jansen. Got him! The Twins try some trickery on the Blue Jays. IKF scopes it out, delivers the ball back to Jansen, and tagged out at the plate was Willie Castro to end the inning. A 2-4-2, caught stealing, but the Twins score a run on 3 hits, leave 1 on. It's 1-0 Minnesota. Middle of the first, and do we have a review? Rocco Baldelli is talking with the umpires right now. Baldelli continuing to talk. We will take a quick step aside and let you know on the other side, as it looks like no challenge is forthcoming.
Minnesota is challenging the outcall at home plate, the entirety of the play. The previous play is under review.
And so we'll keep it right here, now.
You are not often incorrect, Ben.
That was a bad one. That was a bad one. So they're challenging, I believe, if Danny Jansen illegally blocked the plate. Now, a lot of this rule, which 2 years ago was the focus of many because it's a little bit convoluted, has to do with setup. Once you have the ball, there's a lot you're allowed to do. And as long as Jansen wasn't camped in front entirely of that plate before catching the ball, and actually it even looks like the throw drew him into the path. What are you seeing, Chris?
So I'm seeing his left foot in front of that right-handed batter's box. So that makes me think that he is not blocking the plate. He's giving Willie Castro a lane there to at least slide in and touch home plate. And we have that overhead view there. It looks like his left foot is a little bit closer to the...
On the field is confirmed that the runner is out. There was not a violation of the blocking rule. Minnesota will lose its challenge.
It was actually in Minnesota 2 years ago that the Blue Jays got a controversial Game 1 because of a block in the plate call. This time, no block in the plate, and that'll be it for the top of the first. 1-0 Twins. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Bring excitement to your landscape with proven winners, Color Choice Shrubs. These flowering shrubs and evergreens have been trialed and tested by experts to make sure they look better and bloom better, so they're just as easy to care for as what's in your landscape now, but a whole lot more colorful and interesting. Look for proven winners, Color Choice Shrubs, in the distinctive white container at your local garden center, or learn more at provenwinnerscolorchoice.com.
When Blue Jays left-hander Yusei Kikuchi strikes a batter out, fans get to witness the Kikuchi K-Strut. What is the K-Strut? It's an arms-flailing, feet-kicking, fist-pumping, head-spinning, energy-recoiling, absolutely electric strikeout celebration that, well, you just gotta see it.
He's something else, man.
On Wednesday, May 22nd, strut down to the ballpark. The first 15,000 fans get a Yusei Kikuchi bobblehead. What do you say? Find your seats at BlueJays.com.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. That's why we introduced in-game betting. Because when the game starts, the action doesn't stop. With in-game betting, you can wager on game props, player props, totals, and the money line. And remember, in-game, you can track your same-day parlay with the option to cash out. Check out in-game betting and find out why. It's never ordinary at Bet365.
Must be 19 years or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit ConnexOntario.ca.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Swanson staring at second. Comes home with a 2-2. Swing and a miss, strike three.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome to the Timbermark broadcast booth. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. 1-0 Twins over Blue Jays. Bottom of the first inning. Joe Ryan, the Twins starter, deals to Davis Schneider and gets a fastball in there for strike one. 8th start of the season for Joe Ryan in his 4th Major League season. He's 1-2 with a 3.5 ERA. 0-1. High, 1 ball and 1 strike.
And Joe Ryan's another guy that throws a lot of strikes. Only 6 walks this season in 40 2/3 innings.
Throws a lot of fastballs. 4-seamer almost 50%. His 1-1 is the splitter for ball 2. That's his second most used pitch. We'll throw that about a quarter of the time and then throws the sweeper and the slider as well. Ryan's 2-1 to Schneider. Swing and a miss. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Davis Schneider already doing his job as the leadoff hitter. This will be the 5th pitch of the at-bat.
Second time in his major league career that Schneider has started in the leadoff spot. Did it in Cleveland on August 7th last year. 2-2. Called strike 3. Borderline pitch on the outside edge. Gets Schneider for the first out.
Yeah, that was nasty. That might not have been a strike, maybe a hair off, but still a really good 2-seamer from Joe Ryan at 95 miles an hour on the outside black. Davis Schneider doesn't like it, but that's a good pitch.
Yeah, that if you look at the diagrams, that just by a sliver got the zone. Here's the first pitch to Dalton Varsho. It's called strike 1.
And that last pitch to Davis Schneider is what we call a pitcher's pitch.
Oh, yeah. Right on left matchup right now with 1 out. 0-1. Varsho takes again, strike 2. He's fed him 2 straight splitters in the zone. Varsho hitting .227. 7 doubles. Team leading 6 homers and tied for the lead with 16 RBIs. 0-2. And somehow ball 1 is called. Christian Vasquez, the catcher, went to throw it around the infield, and I don't blame him. That looked like a fastball in there. Instead, it's ball 1. Ryan looking to bounce back after that missed call from behind the plate. His 1-2 to Dalton Varsho. Hit in the air, not very deep to left. Austin Martin coming in, makes the catch. 1 out.
Another good splitty from Joe Ryan. It doesn't really have true split action. It has more of a horizontal movement to it, a lot like a changeup. I wonder how he holds that pitch, because generally you see split fingers have that good diving action. This is more of a fade to it from left to right.
Here's his first pitch, Joe Ryan's to Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Missed inside with a fastball, 1-0. 2 outs and the base is empty, 1-0 Twins, bottom of the first inning. The 1-0. Bounce softly to third off the foot of Guerrero. It's a foul ball, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike.
And in Vlad's last 7 games, he's hitting .321. Don't look now, but he's getting hot.
You go last 10 games, he's hitting .350.
There you go.
Yeah.
I didn't look that far back.
10 games ago, he was hitting .206. As he steps in the box right now, he's hitting .246. The 1-1. Swing and a drive, right center field, down in the gap, and rolling toward the track. Cut off by Castro, and that will cut off Guerrero's round around first. He heads back to the bag with a 2-out single.
We have seen that swing from him so often over the last 7 to 10 games. He takes that outside fastball and drills it on a line into the gap in right center. I tell you what, when his swing is going right, it is a pretty thing.
For Guerrero, he's now hit in 10 of the last 11 games. He leads off first with 2 outs, and here's Justin Turner. The pitch. Swing, and it's hit foul, 0-1. As Guerrero has heated up, Turner has slowed down a little bit. Still solid numbers, but the batting average now at .270. On base plus slugging has dropped below .800. 0-1. Bounced foul just behind his third base coach, Carlos Fablis, 0-2.
I don't know if you just saw that on the Sportsnet broadcast, but Vlad is using Teoscar's bat.
That he just left here 2 years ago? It's still here?
Maybe he picked one up when the Dodgers were here.
It's possible. 0-2. Outside.
Well, whatever it is, it's working.
I'm not going to knock it. I mean, Cody Clemens has been using Bryce Harper's bats all year, and he hit a home run and a triple in a game against the Blue Jays.
Small sample size. Small sample size, my friend.
Big bat, though. Vlad being half held on at first by Carlos Santana. The 1-2 to Turner. He just spoils it right behind the plate and back into the backstop to continue this inning. Eight doubles, 4 homers for Justin Turner, and tied with Varsho and Guerrero for the team leading RBIs with 16. Right on right? No, it's going to be a throw over to first, and Vladdy scampers back. .6'2" righty Ryan in the set, peeks over his shoulder twice, and the pitch. Line drive to right field, hanging up, it's caught chest high by Margot to end the inning. Good contact, but Guerrero ends up being stranded on first after his base hit. Turner lines out, and it's 1-0 Twins after 1. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Here we go.
Surf's up. Summer is just around the corner. The warm sounds of the Beach Boys will get you there sooner. Good vibrations, the Beach Boys channel.
We're in Southern California. The beach is a huge deal here. The sunshine, it's athletic.
Now, for a limited time, Channel 79 and the all-new Sirius XM app. Good vibrations.
Hello, Blue Jay fans. I'm Craig Ballard, host of your daily Locked On Blue Jays podcast. Locked On Blue Jays is part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Locked On Blue Jays brings you the latest Blue Jays news and analysis and breaks down all of the action. Locked On Blue Jays is everything a Blue Jays fan could want, all in a 30-minute daily podcast. Download Locked On Blue Jays right now on the SXM app, available with all trials and popular plans or wherever you get your podcasts. Search Locked On Blue Jays.
Hey, baseball fans, the NBA postseason is in full swing, and your home for nonstop discussion every day and playoff action on the court every night is SiriusXM NBA Radio Channel 86 and on the brand new SiriusXM app.
The South Carolina Gamecocks are on top of the women's college basketball world yet again.
Perfection for South Carolina. 38 games, 38 wins.
We're reacting to the perfect season and talking to the biggest names right here on Channel 374.
Congratulations, Coach Saley. What does this particular title mean to you?
This title is pretty special because it was unexpected.
Keep it locked into SiriusXM SEC Radio as we continue to break it all down and celebrate the Gamecocks' third national title.
Sportsnet Radio Network.
The second inning is brought to you by Bet365. At Bet365, you can watch thousands of live games, build your own bet, and can even make a bet while the game's still being played. 19 plus, play responsibly. Ontario only. 1-0 Twins over Blue Jays. First of 3 here at Rogers Center over the weekend. I'm Ben Schulman. To my left, Chris LaRue. Yusei Kikuchi on the mound for his second inning of work, facing Carlos Santana. The left on right pitch. Hit in the air to center. Varsho jogging back. Now stops and creeps in. Makes the catch with one hand. And there's one out. 21 pitches in that first inning for Yusei Kikuchi. Gave up 3 hits and a run, so good for him to get 1 pitch and 1 out here to start the second.
Yeah, that's exactly what he needed, throwing that 1 pitch, getting that 1 easy out on a fastball.
Now he takes on Kyle Farmer, utility player playing second base. The pitch. Call it strike 1. Farmer in his second season with the Twins, struggling out of the gates, batting 156. 0-1. Hit foul, 0-2.
I'll tell you what, he needs to use that fastball more because he is locating that thing to perfection at 95 to 97 miles an hour. I don't think he's thrown a ball with it yet.
It's been very in the zone in general. 19 strikes in 24 pitches, only 5 balls. His 0-2. Throws a ball there, 1 ball and 2 strikes.
And he threw that ball up around the letters for effect, obviously trying to throw that thing out of the zone, elevated to get Farmer to swing through it.
The 1-2. Fouled off by Farmer. Curveball that he tried to backdoor Farmer with, but the right-handed hitting infielder just hit it out of play. Farmer, one of the handful of right-handed hitters in the lineup now that wouldn't usually be, but Rocco Baldelli has yanked every lefty out of the lineup. 1-2 is hit off the handle, a looper into left. Schneider barely has to move, jogging in, makes the catch. 2 outs.
Well, of course he would, because Yusei Kikuchi is one of the most effective pitchers in all of Major League Baseball against left-handed hitters. His fastball is fun to watch.
I will say, though, you look at the names on the bench. Max Kepler, not playing. Alex Kirilloff, Edouard Julien. Trevor Larnach's been one of their best hitters this year. Here's the pitch to Christian Vasquez. It's called strike 1.
I am kind of disappointed that we don't get to see Eddie Julien. That's for sure.
Come on.
Maybe.
Come on. Vasquez up with 2 outs and the bases empty. 1-0 Twins, top of the second. The longtime Red Sox awaits the 0-1. Fouls it off, 0-2. 2 tough offensive years last year and then the start to this year so far for Vasquez in Minnesota. Batting an even 200 right now with an on-base plus slugging in the 450s. Kikuchi's 0-2. Found back into the screen. Fastball at 97, right on the outside edge.
He was even trying to elevate that thing out of the strike zone, and he couldn't. He just dotted it up on the black on the outside corner. He's too good with the fastball right now.
24 strikes to 6 balls for Yusei Kikuchi. He has given up 3 hits in a run, but looking for a 1-2-3 top of the second. His 2-strike pitch. In the dirt with the slider, ball 1.
Danny Jansen pointing at the dirt before Kikuchi threw that pitch, making sure that he gets it in the dirt. He did, but Christian Vasquez not offering at it.
Vasquez with 2 half swings. Some of that dirt flying up onto his exposed socks. He's hiked the gray pant legs up to his knees. 1-2. Just low with a fastball at 97. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Kikuchi bouncing a ball back into the Blue Jays' third base side dugout. Carlos Fablis was actually about to pick it up, and then the ball boy ran in front and cut him off. Not sure if he saw it. But Kikuchi's got a new baseball, and he's ready to go. Base is empty. The 2-2 with 2 outs is outside ball 3.
And you don't want to lose Christian Vasquez here. You were ahead 0-2. Now it's 3-2. Christian Vasquez just hitting 200 with 1 homer and 6 RBIs.
And on deck, a guy who's probably amped up to play here. The Blue Jays' 5th overall pick in 2020, Austin Martin. 3-2 pitch. Vasquez bounces it foul off of himself to keep the inning going.
Kikuchi nibbling just a little bit. I would love to throw him just something right down the middle, maybe down in the zone. Let Christian Vasquez pop something up or ground out.
Kikuchi leaning forward, listening to the pitch comm. Danny Jansen goes to his right knee and makes the call. The 3-2. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Got him to chase the curve down low. It's a 1-2-3 top of the second for Yusei Kikuchi. 1-0 Twins, middle of 2. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
At Crown Rust Control, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know spring's the best time of year to protect your vehicle from rust? For a special spring offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
How country is Blue Jays pitcher Chris Bassett? He's so country, he showers in his boots. His truck needs 3 parking spots. He's so country, he played the banjo in his high school band. Chris Bassett is so country that he wants you down at the ballpark for Country Night. Arrive early on Country Night to get your Chris Bassett Hound on the Mound bobblehead, live country music, and featuring a pregame performance by Owen Riegling. Country Night, Friday, May 17th. For tickets, visit BlueJays.com.
Not tomorrow, not someday. The home improvements begin today. It's game on with Timber Mart. Build that deck, raise that fence, landscape till your property is beautiful. Don't pay for 12 months on the Timber Mart deferred payment program. Your locally owned, completely Canadian hub of building and renovation expertise. Get your Timber Mart credit card at participating locations and pay later. 12 months later. Conditions apply. Ask in store for details or apply at timbermart.ca.
Hey, this is Dalton Varsho. You're listening to Toronto Blue Jays Baseball on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Ready or not, here I come.
This short homestand means there are only 3 days left to get your Jays Care 50-50 tickets. The jackpot is over $225,000 and will grow a ton over the next 2 games. Visit BlueJays.com/5050 to get your tickets from Ontario or Nova Scotia. Here at Rogers Center, it's the bottom of the second inning. Twins up 1-0 on the Blue Jays. Danny Jansen leads off, and the pitch from Joe Ryan. High and outside, ball 1. I'm Ben Schulman. To my left, Chris LaRue, Luke Swadron, and Tom Young, our technical directors. Show Ali, our host and producer. The 1-0. High again, 2 balls, no strikes. Jansen hitting .311 to start the year. 2-0 from Ryan. Inside ball 3. And maybe even more impressive, 10 extra base hits for Danny Jansen, who missed the first month of the season.
Well, I posed the question to you when they were playing the Phillies, is Danny Jansen as good as JT Realmuto? You wouldn't commit to that.
It's a tough one to ask me. Also, a tough called strike against Danny Jansen on a pitch that looked outside. It makes the count 3-1.
And I understand why you won't commit to that. JT is one of the best in baseball.
3-1 pitch. Called strike 2, full count.
Maybe currently. Is Danny Jansen currently as good as JT Realmuto?
It's possible. It's possible.
In his hot streak.
JT's kind of on the downswing. 3-2. Hooked on the ground to third. Picked up by Miranda. A step and throw to first beats Jansen for the first out.
Tough 3-2 splitter there from Joe Ryan. Looked like a fastball and then kind of dropped off the table. Doesn't matter how hot you are. That's a tough pitch.
Joe Ryan really coming into his own in year 4 with the Twins. He was actually a Rays draft pick, Ryan, back in 2018 out of Cal State Stanislaus. Transferred there from Cal State Northridge. First pitch to Bo Bichette is sliced foul over the netting, out of play. 0-1.
Neither of those schools baseball powerhouses.
No. But was at Cal State Northridge, was in the bullpen, couldn't really break into the rotation, went to Stanislaus and posted a 1.65 ERA in 1 year as a starter. 0-1 pitch fouled back, 0-2. Ryan ahead of Bichette here with one out and the bases empty. 1-0 Twins, bottom of the second.
And ended up being a 7th round pick 210. I think that was my pick.
0-2. Down and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
7th round. Maybe I was 215. I can't remember.
I can figure that out. 1-2 to Bichette. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Chased after the sweeper, down and away. And that is the second out of the inning.
Another tough pitch from Joe Ryan. Slider down and away. The thing that I don't like about that swing from Bo Bichette is that pitch, that slider from Joe Ryan was never in the strike zone. You should not be offering at that pitch.
Here's the first pitch to Kevin Biggio. It's called strike 1 with a fastball. 2 outs and the bases empty. 1-0 Twins, bottom of the second. You were picked 216.
Oh,
216. John Neese, 209. 0-1. Inside 1-1. So Joe Ryan beat you just by a little bit. And the Rays, really quickly after drafting him, end up dealing him away. His 1-1 pitch lands at the knees, 1-2. Because he doesn't pitch at all in 2020. He starts 2021 in AAA, but leaves to go play in the Olympics for USA. And when he comes back, he's a Minnesota Twin rather than a Tampa Bay Ray. Nelson Cruz went the other way. 1-2 pitch, low, 2 balls and 2 strikes.
I tell you what, when you talk about pitchers with pitchability, and what I mean by that is they know how to pitch. They pitch backwards, they make good pitches, and they're not just relying on their stuff.
2-2 is high and outside, full count.
Joe Ryan is one of those guys. He's a very cerebral guy. He knows what to throw in certain counts, and he's not just trying to blow you away.
With 2 outs, the payoff to Biggio. Check swing. Called strike 3 at the knees. Biggio set down, back-to-back Ks for Ryan to end the second. Blue Jays go down 1-2-3, trail 1-0 after 2. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
We're 2 men and a truck. So, you're moving to a new home, and all that's left to do is to call a mover you know you can trust. Well, naturally, you think 2 men and a truck, since you know they have lots of men and lots of trucks. They'll wrap, pack, and move everything you own. With a 96% referral rating and the professionalism you can trust, the choice is simple. For a free in-home estimate, call today. We're 2 men and a truck.
2 men and a truck, the movers who care.
Hi, I'm Buck Martinez, live from the showdown between pizza and inflation. First to the plate, with over 2 million sold, it's Fixed Rate Pizza, a hot and fresh extra-large 4-topping pizza for a fixed price of $17.99 until the end of 2024. Here's the delivery. And inflation strikes out. That's a swing and a drive for Fixed Rate Pizza. Lock in yours today.
Order pizza.ca.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. That's why we introduced in-game betting, because when the game starts, the action doesn't stop. With in-game betting, you can wager on game props, player props, totals, and the money line. And remember, in-game, you can track your same-day parlay with the option to cash out. Check out in-game betting and find out why. It's never ordinary at Bet365.
Must be 19 years or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connexontario.ca.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Springer charges the ball to left field. It's in the seats, and the Blue Jays are on the board.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Top of the third inning, 1-0 Twins over Blue Jays at Rogers Center. Austin Martin leading off for Minnesota. Takes a first pitch curveball at the top of the zone for strike one. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Yusei Kikuchi pitching against the Blue Jays' first-round pick in 2020. The 0-1. Fastball in there, strike two. Corners were way in against Martin to start the AB. Now Ernie Clements at third, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. at first. Back up. 0-2 to the long-haired Martin. Outside, ball one.
Yeah, Austin Martin, the 5th overall pick in 2020 by the Toronto Blue Jays.
Traded in 2021 at the deadline in that Jose Barrios steal. 1-2. And a pitch called low. Kikuchi with his hands on his head. I don't blame him. That whole ball was inside the zone, and John Schneider is barking right now at Tom Hanahan from the third base dugout. That's a huge whiff on what should have been strike three.
That was a strike to everybody in this stadium.
2-2. Off the fists, a bouncer to short. Picked up by Bo Bichette. He'll throw over to first, and all's well that ends well. Martin retired for the first out. The third inning is brought to you by the local family-owned Crown Rust Control Centers in Almont and Carlton Place. Protect your vehicle from rust today. Find your local family-owned Crown at crown.com, Canada's #1 rust protection. Ryan Jeffers, the top of the order, up now for Minnesota with the Twins up 1-0. Top of the third. Kikuchi facing all right-handed hitters today, and his pitch to Jeffers. Just high, ball one. Jeffers, one of the hottest hitters, if not the hottest, the Twins have this year, hitting .304. 1-0. Bounce to short. Awkward hop. Bichette picks it up near his ankles and slings it to first for the second out.
Yeah, .304 with 8 homers and 29 RBIs.
Leads the American League in doubles, too, at 12.
And he's your leadoff hitter.
Yeah. I mean, not every day.
Not every day, but I'm saying
in
today.
In this lineup, he is. Twins, by the way, actually coming into today, 36 lineups in 37 days for the Minnesota Twins. They make it 37 and 38 with the lineup today. They are always mixing it around. Pitch to Carlos Correa, outside, ball one.
Yusei Kikuchi's thrown 30 strikes of his 43 pitches. That's pretty good.
Really impressive. His 1-0. Ball two. Even with back-to-back balls, Kikuchi's thrown 14 balls total in 44 pitches. Joe Ryan, who's been good, has thrown 12 balls in 33 pitches. He's thrown almost the same number of balls as Kikuchi in 11 fewer pitches. Next one to Correa is in there with the curve to get the count back a little bit in control. It's 2-1.
And that's including that ball that he threw to Austin Martin,
that
should have been a strike.
My goodness, a strike. Although it did give him a strike back after Martin also hit the ground ball. But it hurt his ratio. 2-1 pitch. Inside, ball three. 2 outs, base is empty. 2017 World Series champion Carlos Correa in the box. 1-0 Twins, top of the third. And the pitch. Fouled back. 3-2.
And I love that Yusei Kikuchi has the confidence now to flip in that breaking ball, that curveball, 3-1.
He's got to try to surprise Correa, who's going to ask for time. After the base hit in the first inning, Correa looped the ball to center field. He's now 11 for 21 against Yusei Kikuchi career with 3 extra base hits. That includes playoffs, and those two did face off a lot when Kikuchi was a Mariner and Correa was an Astro. 3-2 pitch. Line to left, hanging up. It's an easy play for Schneider overhead to end the inning. 1-2-3 for Kikuchi again. He's retired 7 in a row, but it's still 1-0 Twins. Middle of the third. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
The NASCAR Cup Series is on SiriusXM. We're back on the track Sunday,
2 p.m. Eastern.
It's the Goodyear 400 from Darlington Raceway.
Checker flag, baby. Yeah.
On SiriusXM NASCAR Radio Channel 90 in the car and on the all-new SiriusXM app. Get closer to everything that moves you wherever you are with the SiriusXM app.
Let's make some smoke and drink some beer. Yes.
Are you regretting eating that gas station hot dog? Yeah, we know. We've been there too. This is a message for baseball fans like you. Did you know that you get a channel that's talking baseball 24/7 as part of your SiriusXM subscription? What? Our lineup includes shows hosted by former big leaguers and executives. Plus, you'll hear from 17 managers each week. MLB Network Radio is on SiriusXM Channel 89, or just search MLB Network Radio on the SXM app. SiriusXM Sports. We're more than just a game.
We're talking college basketball on ACC Today.
Great run for NC State men's basketball. The story of this team is one I don't think anybody will forget.
They were able to accomplish a lot. They captured the hearts and the minds of the nation. DJ Burns became an absolute star nationally.
I love it.
ACC Today, weekdays from 8 to 11 a.m. Eastern. ACC Radio, Channel 371, and the SiriusXM app.
The Blue Jays are in flight, leading 3-0.
Blue Jays fans, this is Ross Atkins, and you're listening to Blue Jays Baseball on SiriusXM.
Sportsnet Radio Network.
Bottom of the third inning at Rogers Center, and the Blue Jays will send 8-9-1 up to the plate, trying to get back in this 1-0 game. First pitch goes to Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, and it's in there for strike one via the Joe Ryan sweeper. Ryan's given up just one hit so far and 7 batters faced as 0-1. Down and away to IKF, 1 ball, 1 strike.
Carlos Santana is way off the line at first base, about a third of the way to second base.
1-1. IKF gives it a ride to left. Martin going back, turns at the wall. It's gone!
Kiner-Falefa's second home run of the season came on a 1-1 pitch. Kiner-Falefa's second on a 1-1.
Big fly, Isaiah Kiner-Falefa ties this game at 1 with nobody out in the bottom of the third.
Yeah, Joe Ryan doesn't hang many, but he hung that slider right over the middle of the plate about belt high, and IKF did not miss it.
Second home run of the season for IKF. And now the 9-hitter, Ernie Clement, takes ball 1.
Is that about all he's got? 365, 370 to left?
His first home run went a little deeper. I'll take it up in a sec. First a swing and a miss by Clement to make it 1 ball, 1 strike.
I think he hit that ball in the screws. Snuck it out just over that fence into the bullpen and left.
The 1-1. Hooked foul on the ground. And it's 1-2. His first home run of the year was .399, Mr.
Oh,
LaRue.
that's all he's got. So that's all he's got.
Let's not limit the man at 365. Isaiah Kiner-Falefa tying the game up for the Blue Jays. Bottom of the third, the 1-2 to Clement. He slices it over the netting and into the seats behind the first base dugout. Still 1 ball and 2 strikes. Davis Schneider waiting on deck. He's the top of the order for the Blue Jays. No outs and nobody on. 1-1 game. And Ryan steps to his left, kicks and delivers. Missed way outside, ball 2. Christian Vasquez had to dive. Ended up on his hands and knees, catching that ball over top of the lefty batter's box. Right-handed hitter Clement crowds the plate and bounces that front left foot off the ground. He's going to ask for time. It's a good time for us to let you know that we're here in the Timber Mart broadcast booth, encouraging you to step up for the home team and shop local. Timber Mart stores are family-owned and operated and know the value in giving back to the communities they serve. Now more than ever, it's important to shop local. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue, the 2-2 to Clement. Hit foul again.
Good job by Ernie Clement staying alive there, fouling off that tough pitch from Joe Ryan. A 94-mile-an-hour fastball in the black. And a good pitcher's pitch from Joe Ryan.
Here's the 7th pitch of the battle, and Clement spoils it once more. He flipped that one right back into the netting, and Daniel Vogelback, Danny Jansen, among others, clapping as they lean over the dugout railing.
3 power hitters chatting it up in the dugout.
You got to give ICAF a break. He just homered.
I hope he's not listening to this broadcast.
Yeah, I don't think he is. The 2-2. Looper down the right field line, and it's out of the reach of Santana and into the camera well. First baseman for the Twins gave it a chase, but he'll jog back into position. Before this next pitch, Christian Vasquez is going to go out and talk to Joe Ryan. They just really have not been able to solve Ernie Clement. It was a 1-2 count after 3 pitches, and Clement's fouled off 4 more since, also drawing a ball. Ryan cupping his mouth with his glove, talking and nodding to Christian Vasquez, who turns around and heads back behind the plate, the veteran catcher from Puerto Rico. Vasquez back in the crouch. A twirl of the right hand by Tom Hanahan, home plate umpire, to reset the clock. Clement in the box, and the 2-2. Lifted to center, not very deep. Playable for Castro, who drifts to his left and makes the catch. 1 out.
And another good splitter from Joe Ryan. That one, just such good arm speed. It looks exactly like a fastball, and it looks like a fastball coming in until the very end, when it kind of drifts away from the barrel of your bat. That one right there, no different. Ernie Clement getting it on the on the fists and just looping it out to center field.
Still could be productive, though. A 9-pitch at bat to drive up the Ryan pitch count, who misses high to Davis Schneider, 1-0. Joe Ryan now sitting on 46 pitches with 1 out in the bottom of the 3rd. Kikuchi ended the top of the 3rd with 48. 1-0. Schneider lifts it to center field, pretty deep. Castro going back at the track, makes the catch, falling onto the warning track. Looked like he misjudged that one, and it was dropping short of where he thought it would be. He flops down and makes the play for out number 2.
Well, I think Davis Schneider got that off the end of the bat just a little bit. If he hits that off the barrel, that thing's over the wall, 430, 440. That one he hit off the end of the bat just a little bit.
Now 2 outs, and Dalton Varsho at the plate for the Blue Jays. The number 2 hitter swings and lifts a ball very high, but very foul down the right field line. 0-1. 1-1 ball game, bottom of the 3rd. 2 outs and the bases empty. The second home run of the season by Isaiah Kiner-Falefa has tied this game. 0-1. Varsho hits it foul now to the left side, and it's 0-2. Dalton Varsho's 0 for 1 today, but he's been on base in 6 straight games. 0-2. And the dirt. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Varsho flied out to left field back in the 1st inning. Joe Ryan's 1-2. Varsho swings and misses. Pitch was in the dirt. Tag applied by Vasquez. Strike 3 to end the inning. Blue Jays tie it up, though. The home run off the bat of Isaiah Kiner-Falefa has made it 1-1 at the end of 3. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
The NBA Draft Lottery is Sunday at 3 Eastern, and you can hear all the action on NBA radio.
Coming in with a right hand throwdown!
The future of a franchise could change with the bounce of a ping pong ball. And our experts will react to the results as they happen.
That guy is going to be a star in this league.
The 2024 NBA Draft Lottery, Sunday at 3 p.m. Eastern, followed by Game 4 between the Knicks and Pacers in Indy. Your home for the postseason is Sirius XM NBA Radio, Channel 86.
Each night after the horn sounds, NBA Radio has you covered with the best analysis of all the games.
When healthy, they check a lot of boxes.
We'll break down the playoff action.
Tatum saw it coming, picked it up, drives in, and throws it down with two hands.
And take you inside the locker room to hear from the players and coaches.
It seemed like we had a lot of guys that were getting banged up, but we were able to get the job done.
Hear the NBA Radio Playoffs postgame show every night throughout the postseason on NBA Radio, Channel 86, and the all-new Sirius XM app.
Blue Jays fans, your manager, John Schneider, joins MLB Network Radio every other Wednesday at 11 a.m. Eastern.
Just looking really for, especially the guys at the top, looking for those guys to get rolling and confident that they will. But I think once they do that and once we kind of do that, things will kind of even out the way we hope they would to start the year.
Managers at the mic on MLB Network Radio, Sirius XM 89 and the Sirius XM app.
Fantasy Sports Radio is helping you win whichever fantasy sport you play. Right now on Channel 87 and on the all-new Sirius XM app.
Sportsnet Radio Network.
The fourth inning is presented by Bet365. At Bet365, you can bet live in-game on game props, totals, and the money line. Download the app and find out why it's never ordinary at Bet365. 19+, play responsibly. Ontario only. First pitch of the fourth out of the hand of Yusei Kikuchi is called strike one against Willie Castro. 1-1 ball game at Rogers Center. First of three between AL wildcard foes last year, the Twins and the Blue Jays. 0-1. Inside. 1 ball, 1 strike.
And there is dirt all over the back of Willie Castro, all over his shoulder from that collision with Danny Jansen at home plate earlier on in this ballgame.
Doesn't help that he flopped onto the track to make a catch last inning, too. 1-1 pitch is hit into right center field, not very deep. Dalton Varsho is going to call off Kevin Biggio, and the center fielder makes the catch. 1 out. Let's take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard, brought to you by St. Louis Bar and Grill. Devilishly good since Toronto first raised the trophy in '92. Join them for wings, ribs, beer, cocktails, and catch every plate at your local St. Louis Bar and Grill. Download the app or visit visit stlouiswings.com for more details. Always devilishly good. Before we get to the scores, the pitch to Jose Miranda with 1 out and the bases empty. A little bit high, ball 1 in this 1-1 game, top of the fourth. Some AL East action in St. Petersburg. The Yankees visiting the Rays and leading 1-0 right now are the Bronx Bombers. 1-0 pitch. Swinging a towering fly ball to left. Racing back Schneider in front of the wall. Puts his hand out and makes the catch. A near miss from Miranda. There are 2 outs.
Well, the way Davis Schneider was going back for that, I didn't think he had a chance at that, but all of a sudden he puts the brakes on right in front of that wall with his hand up, makes an easy catch. Pretty sure he faked everybody out.
I think it went a little bit off the handle of Miranda on second look. So 2 outs, and now the third baseman Clement's going to come onto the infield turf as Manuel Margot steps in. Margot 0 for 1, and the pitch. Called strike 1. On that St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard, it was an Anthony Rizzo single off Taj Bradley that has the Yankees up 1-0. Rays batting in the bottom of the 5th inning. Clark Schmidt pitching for New York. Next pitch in the dirt and outside to Margot, 1-1. Margot, a former Ray. If you go over to Baltimore, it's the Orioles hosting the Arizona Diamondbacks. Jordan Westburg has knocked in a run, and it's 2-1 Baltimore, bottom of the 4th. The 1-1 pitch is slapped down the right field line, slicing foul off the netting. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Margot. Kikuchi is strike away. And again, Baltimore up 2-1 over Arizona on the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard.
Well, we were talking about Paul Skeens the other day and the fact that he should be called up. He was called up. When is he going to start is my question.
I think they announced it, but I don't remember. 1-2. Inside with the fastball, 2-2.
Well, I apologize for putting you on the spot. I was trying to find it, and I couldn't, so I was hoping that you would know.
Saturday is when he's expected to start, tomorrow. 2-2 count on Manuel Margot. 2 outs, bases empty. Yusei Kikuchi is going to ask for time. Danny Jansen's going to walk out to the mound. And that does give us a chance here to look at the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard again as those two discuss a matchup of two teams you forgot Kyle Schwarber played for. The Washington Nationals visiting the Boston Red Sox, and it's 3-0 for Washington over Boston right now. Nationals on a bit of a heater. Trey Lipscomb with a 2-run single. And also you get a RBI out of Joey Meneses on a single as well. It's 3-0 Nationals over Red Sox. 2-2 to Margot, grounded foul. Still 2 balls and 2 strikes as Kikuchi looks to solve Margot here and retire 10 batters in a row.
Well, there's no secret to what he's doing. He's just throwing strike one. Almost every single batter he's throwing strike one to, and that is incredibly important for Yusei.
2-2, swing and a miss, strike 3. The rare changeup from Kikuchi gets a wild wave from Margot. It's the second Kikuchi strikeout and the 10th batter retired in a row. 1-1 game, middle of the 4th. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Hi, I'm Buck Martinez, live from the showdown between Pizza and inflation. First to the plate, Pizza's big hitter, fixed rate pizza. An extra large 4-topping pizza for a fixed price of $17.99 until the end of 2024. I dare say, folks, inflation stands no chance against this all-star. Here's the delivery. And inflation strikes out. That's a swing and a drive for fixed rate pizza. Lock in yours today.
Order pizza.ca. How can Blue Jays closer Jordan Romano improve on his already iconic entrance from the bullpen? Tim Meza and Eric Swanson had their own thoughts.
Hear me out. We shoot you out of a cannon. Picture this. Gate opens and you ride in on a moose. One word, roller skate. Super trendy right now.
Romano's thoughts?
I appreciate the ideas, but I got this.
On Monday, May 20th, the first 15,000 fans will get a Jordan Romano blue replica jersey. For tickets, visit BlueJays.com.
So that's a no on the moose?
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. That's why we introduced in-game betting. Because when the game starts, the action doesn't stop. With in-game betting, you can wager on game props, player props, totals, and the money line. And remember, in-game, you can track your same-day parlay with the option to cash out. Check out in-game betting and find out why. It's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 19 years or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit ConnexOntario.ca.
Every day I'm hustling, every day I'm
Hey, this is Kevin Kiermaier. You're listening to Toronto Blue Jays Baseball on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Every day I'm hustling.
Welcome to the Timbermark broadcast booth. Bottom of the 4th inning at Rogers Center. First of 3 games, Blue Jays and Twins. And here in the Timbermark broadcast booth, I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue, Luke Swadron, and Tom Young, our technical directors. Show Ali, our host and producer. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. leading off for the Blue Jays against Joe Ryan. The right-on-right pitch. Downstairs, ball 1. Vladdy boosting his batting average to .252 with a single back in the first inning. Hits in 10 of 11, the 1-0. Swinging a hard shot through the hole on the left side, a base hit. He is really starting to heat up. That's his second hit of the day for Guerrero.
And he isn't just getting hits. He is hitting the ball hard on a line. He's getting that barrel flat through the zone. And when any pitch is pitched over the middle of the plate, that one right there on the inner third, Vlad is just drilling it, doing damage on every single one of those pitches.
That was the rare sinker for Ryan, and Vlad hit it just 116 miles an hour into left field. He's on first base to lead off the inning. Here's Justin Turner, who's 0 for 1, lined out to right to end the first. From the stretch, the pitch. Off the fist, it's looped to short, caught by Correa. Guerrero back to first. 1 out.
And that was another sinker, but that one was right in on the fists of Justin Turner. Justin Turner hitting a weak looping line drive to Carlos Correa at shortstop. Makes that catch just at the chest.
I actually thought for a second Correa might knock that ball down and see, because Turner wasn't sprinting out of the box if they could turn 2 there. No infield fly with just one guy on base. Here's the pitch to Danny Jansen, and he takes strike one. One out, and Vladdy on first. 1-1 game, bottom of the fourth. Jano's 0 for 1 with a ground out to third. Here's the 0-1. Swing and a high fly ball. Medium depth left field. Martin was going back, now jogs way in to make the catch. And 2 quick outs for Ryan. 2 outs in 3 pitches after giving up the single to Guerrero. Still a runner on first with 2 down.
And just watching Vlad kind of run around the bases, I know that even when he's struggling, he tends to have fun and he likes to goof around. But now that let's be honest, he's red hot. Now that he's red hot, you can tell he's just enjoying himself a lot more out there, even more than usual.
He's half held on by Santana. Here's Bo Bichette. First pitch is low, ball 1.
And I'm sure it doesn't hurt that Carlos Santana and Vlad are probably buddies. They're both from the Dominican Republic, having a good chat out there.
Santana might be one of the few guys left who would have overlapped with Vlad Sr. as well on the position player side. 1-0. Down and away, 2-0. I mean, never played on his team, but in the time with Cleveland, he likely would have played against Texas Ranger Vladimir Guerrero, or maybe Baltimore Oriole Vladimir Guerrero right near the end.
That's strange. To say Baltimore Oriole,
there was almost
strange.
Toronto Blue Jay Vladimir Guerrero. 2-0 pitch. Bichette hits foul, 2-1.
That's like Jordan on the Wizards.
I have that jersey. Hakeem Olajuwon on the Raptors, maybe. 2 outs, runner on first, 1-1, bottom of the fourth. 2-1 pitch to Bo Bichette. Hits it foul right side, 2-2. Bichette's 0 for 1 today with a strikeout, dropped his batting average to 189. He's obviously struggling, although he leads the team in batting average with runners in scoring position. It seems as the situation gets better, he improves. He's hitting .321 with runners in scoring position. 2-2. Hard shot up the middle, past the outstretched arm of Kyle Farmer and into right center field. A line drive base hit. Guerrero to second, Bichette stops at first, and the Blue Jays have 2 on with 2 out.
And that's just a great piece of hitting there. Joe Ryan tries to sneak that slider on the outside part of the plate. That was actually off the plate, away, and Bo Bichette just goes with it and hits a good line drive through that hole kind of on the right side of the infield. That was a good swing, a good approach from Bo Bichette.
He extends the inning for Kevin Biggio. Guerrero on second, Bichette on first, infield back and playing to the pull against the left-handed hitter. First pitch is high, ball 1.
And that last swing from Bo Bichette, that was you can say that is vintage Bo Bichette, right? Protecting with 2 strikes, making good contact with 2 strikes, having a good approach up there. Those are all things that he's so good at.
The 1-0. Outside ball 2. Speaking of approach, 2 quick takes on pitches out of the zone by Kevin Biggio, who is one of the least aggressive hitters in baseball. Christian Vasquez steps out from the plate to give his infield some signs. Kevin Biggio, coming into today, swings at just over 35% of pitches. Second least in Major League Baseball. Only Cincinnati's Jonathan India, who swings at about a third of the pitches he sees, swings less than Biggio. The 2-0. Called strike, looked a little bit outside. Instead of 3-0, it's 2-1. Guerrero leading off second. Correa, the shortstop, playing right behind him up the middle. Joe Ryan's 65th pitch. Biggio takes it below the knees. 3 balls and 1 strike. And wouldn't it be interesting if Biggio can extend the inning? The guy who homered for the Blue Jays 1 run today, Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, is on deck. Ryan looks back at second and delivers. Swinging a towering foul ball into the 500 level. 10 rows up it down the right field line. 3-2 count now.
Well, Kevin Biggio got all of that. He was just a little bit out in front. That's really all you can do with that pitch. That fastball was up and in. He got the hands through, got the barrel to it, but pretty hard to hit fair.
Now the runners will each get a head start. Bichette on first, Guerrero on second with 2 outs, the 3-2, and Biggio spoils it off to the left.
Almost a Paul Molitor to my left.
Oh, yeah, the first ballot Hall of Famer and World Series champion, sitting, about 5 feet from you through
frosted glass.
A wall that you wish wasn't there?
If I put my hand on that frosted glass, do you think you'll high-five me?
I think if you reached around it, you might be able to. 3-2 again. Biggio swings and foul tips it into the glove. Strike 3. 2 hits for the Blue Jays from Guerrero and Bichette, but both stranded. That'll do it for the bottom of the 4th. It's a 1-1 game. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Mental Health Radio on SiriusXM is for the moments when life is hard, for when you're dealing with a challenge that seems overwhelming, for when you need support and hope. Bringing NYU Langone Health's leading psychologists and psychiatrists to you. Mental Health Radio can help you navigate difficulties like anxiety, depression, substance abuse, and more.
We're facing a crisis right now. We want to be here to help you.
Mental Health Radio, your 24/7 resource for advice and support. Just search Mental Health on the SiriusXM app.
Fantasy Sports Radio is helping you win your fantasy leagues right now on Channel 87.
It's a home run for Ronald Acuna.
From in-season fantasy baseball management to daily fantasy playoff basketball to reacting to the NFL draft, Fantasy Sports Radio is here to help you dominate.
Don't ever take a player that you don't intend to keep all year. Don't do it. It's terrible management.
Fantasy Sports Radio, your home for fantasy sports. Channel 87 and on the all-new SiriusXM app.
Nobody covers the National Football League like SiriusXM NFL Radio.
Mahomes fires it late for the end zone. Caught! Touchdown!
Get the latest news from OTAs to minicamps, all the way through training camps.
We don't care about expectations. Talk doesn't win games.
Our panel of experts is getting you ready for the 2024 season.
The more I watch this guy, the more I like him.
There's a story for every team on SiriusXM NFL Radio, Channel 88 in the car, and on the all-new SiriusXM app.
Hey, baseball fans, the NBA postseason is in full swing, and your home for nonstop discussion every day and playoff action on the court every night is SiriusXM NBA Radio, Channel 86, and on the brand new SiriusXM app.
Sportsnet Radio Network.
Time for the 5th inning, brought to you by Desjardins Insurance. Helping Canadians through it all. Desjardins Insurance. Insurance with a heart so big, it shows. Road half of the 5th, Twins batting. 1-1 ball game at Rogers Center. And Yusei Kikuchi starts off with Carlos Santana, the switch hitter, batting right. Left-hander Kikuchi deals home and misses high. Ball 1.
And we thought this would be a pitcher's duel coming into this ball game, and it certainly is.
Kikuchi and Joe Ryan going at it. 4 hits for the Blue Jays, 3 for the Twins. The 1-0 is grounded foul, 1-1. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Carlos Santana flied out back in the 2nd inning. He was the 2nd of 10 Twins in a row right now to have been retired by Kikuchi. The 1-1. Swinging a fly ball, right field, slicing and into the seats. Down the right field line, 1-2. Kikuchi with a chance here for a strikeout. Only has 2 so far today. He's pitched very well. Just atypical for him to not strike out a lot of guys. Here's 1-2. Off the end of the bat, a fly ball headed toward the right field corner. Biggio back, looking up, and that ball's gone. Carlos Santana with a solo home run gives the Twins a 2-1 lead.
Well, Yusei Kikuchi just missed that spot there. Danny Jansen was almost standing up. They were trying to elevate that fastball, and Yusei Kikuchi has thrown too many strikes almost today. Misses kind of on the outer third of the plate, and Carlos Santana just sticks the barrel out and hits a line drive almost down the line over that fence in right field.
Just kept it fair for Santana. It's his 5th home run and 15th RBI of this season. First pitch to Kyle Farmer hit foul, 0-1.
That ball was actually off the plate. Wasn't a terrible pitch from Yusei Kikuchi. Did miss his spot by a lot, but Carlos Santana with a good job of just sticking the bat out. I didn't think he had that kind of juice from the right side.
Swing and a miss by Farmer. It's 0-2. mean, that's a pitch down and away. And Kikuchi put his hands on his head as it was going back. It was almost like he didn't believe it was going to go nearly that far.
That was about a ball and a half off the plate.
0-2. High ball 1.
And that's where he wanted that 1-2 pitch to Carlos Santana. Up near the letters, elevated down the middle, something that he can't really do much with.
The 1-2 now. Back foot slider. Nearly hit Farmer. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Farmer, a former Dodger and Red, came up with the Dodgers actually as a catcher, but now kind of plays every position on the field. Second base for the Twins today, and he's 0 for 1 with a flyout. 2-2. Popped up back of second. IKF shuffling back to his right, then his left, just on the outfield turf, makes the catch. 1 out.
What do you think of these bucket hats?
Cricket hats, sir.
Cricket hats.
I have to correct you on
cricket hats.
I like the cricket hats.
What's the difference between a bucket hat and a cricket hat?
I got no idea. I think bucket's more for lounging. Cricket's more for playing cricket.
Cricketing?
Yeah. Might be a word. First pitch to Christian Vasquez with one out and the bases empty. Swing and a miss. Strike 1.
I personally think this is one of the best giveaways outside of any bobblehead, because that is my favorite thing to receive for free. I think these cricket hats are something that I'm going to be using the most.
Here's the 0-1 to Vasquez. It's fouled off, 0-2. White cricket hats in a bucket hat shape, like Chris mentioned, with the Blue Jays logo on the front. It's cricket batting practice you can take in the concourse today. The 0-2 and the dirt ball 1.
I have to say that they are better than the Danny Jansen goggles that we got last week.
What if you wore both of them? The 1-2. Lifted to center field, fairly deep. Varsho sprinting back at the track, reaches up, makes the catch, and stumbles into the wall. Nice play by Alton Varsho, 2 down.
It is a lot of fun watching him track down a baseball. He is just sprinting while staring at that ball, catching it over his left shoulder. He gets such good jumps on baseball. It doesn't matter how fast he is, he just gets such good jumps.
Varsho, a guy who came up as a catcher, converted outfielder, and one of the best in the game. Here's the left fielder for the Twins, Austin Martin, with 2 outs and the bases empty. 2-1 Minnesota. First pitch is inside, ball 1. Speaking of guys who have been involved with the Blue Jays and the Twins, let's go to Buffalo on the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard, where Aaron Sanchez made his first start back in the Blue Jays organization. First the 1-0, down and in, ball 2. Bison's up 9-7 on the Worcester Red Sox, but it was a rough reintroduction for Sanchez, who gave up 6 runs on 5 hits and 3 walks over 4 innings pitched. 2-0 to Martin. Called strike.
I'd love to know what the velo is.
Give me a sec.
I mean, I wasn't expecting to know. I would love to know what the scouting report is, how he looked, how the ball came out of his hands.
The fastball was about 90.
So not great.
2-1. Bouncer, 2 hops into the backhand side of Bo Bichette's glove, who throws over to first and ends the inning. Solo home run for Carlos Santana to start the inning has broken the tie, middle of the 5th. It's 2-1 Twins. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Your team is in the playoffs.
Anthony Edwards in the front court. Pulls up for the 3 and hits it!
And the place to hear your hometown announcers is the Sirius XM app.
He scores! Pasternak wins the series for the Bruins!
When the games mean the most, you need that hometown perspective.
An epic best-of-7 battle.
Syncing your hometown announcers to the action is easier than ever. Listen at home on your smart speaker or phone with the all-new Sirius XM app.
He scores! Are you kidding me?
The NASCAR Cup Series is on Sirius XM. We're back on the track. Sunday,
2 p.m. Eastern.
it's the Goodyear 400 from Darlington Raceway.
Checker flag, baby. Yeah.
On SiriusXM NASCAR Radio Channel 90 in the car and on the all-new SiriusXM app. Get closer to everything that moves you wherever you are with the SiriusXM app.
Let's make some smoke and drink some beer. Yes.
While you're listening to this game on SiriusXM, we're talking about the latest odds and prop bets for this and every game on Sports Grid Radio.
The under's minus 125. Heavy juice to the under.
Every home run hit and every strikeout thrown can change the line.
I can't for the life of me figure out how you can favor a team that never wins, ever.
If you're looking for sports talk centered around the latest odds and prop bets for games, races, tournaments, or any sporting event, Sports Grid Radio, SiriusXM, Channel 159.
24/7, 365 coverage of all things NASCAR. All things NASCAR happens exclusively on SiriusXM NASCAR Radio, Channel 90.
Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome to the Timbermark broadcast booth. Bottom of the fifth inning at Rogers Center. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. 2-1 for the Twins. IKF leading off for Toronto, and the pitch from Joe Ryan called strike one. Kiner Falefa led off the third inning with the Blue Jays down 1-0 and homered to tie the game at 1. He's now leading off with the Blue Jays down 2-1. And the second pitch is looped into right, pulling up and letting it drop in front of him, Manuel Margot. It's a second hit of the day for Isaiah Kiner Falefa.
And I would love if the Blue Jays at least try to get something going here in terms of trying to manufacture something. You have the perfect guy up at the plate right now in Ernie Clement. There's a huge hole on the right side. I'm not saying do anything specifically, but I would love for them to at least try.
We did see the Blue Jays pull off a hit and run in their win over the Phillies on Wednesday. IKF was actually at the plate. You do have a pretty high contact guy in Clement at the plate now. First pitch, Clement shows bunt and bunts it foul. 0-1, so they are trying.
There you go.
They are trying.
I'm telling you, John Schneider is starting to like small ball. And I maybe slightly, because he is starting to show it maybe once a game, twice a game. We've seen that a few times over the last week or so, and I'm excited about that. I love small ball.
IKF with 2 stolen bases on the year leads off first, and the pitch. Clement swinging away now, swings and misses, strike 2. Ernie flied out to center field in a 9-pitch battle back in the third inning. Batting .267 after that flyout. Here's the 0-2. Downstairs, ball 1. Vasquez liked the spot, though, pumping his glove out to the pitcher, Ryan.
That was a good pitch. That was a tough take from Ernie Clement. A splitter down in the zone. Looks like a fastball. Like I said, that arm speed from Joe Ryan on that split is so hard to detect a fastball from a split.
Turn and a throw to first. IKF dives back in safe. And Ryan's a guy who relies on that split more and more traditionally as the game goes on. Second time through, third time through, he's going to get off the fastball and use more splitters.
He's a pitcher. He's definitely not a thrower. And by that, I mean he likes to pitch. He knows exactly what he's doing, setting guys up.
1-2, IKF takes off, swinging a line drive to left field, base hit. IKF around second, headed to third. The throw from Martin bounces in late. Clement takes off for second. He'll slide in there. The Blue Jays wreaking havoc on the base pass. They end up on second and third after the steal and the single from Ernie Clement.
And that was perfection right there. IKF takes off, trying to steal that bag, and Ernie Clement rips a single into left field and then takes second on the errant throw as Austin Martin as IKF pumps his fist.
And now a meeting on the mound. Pete Mackey, the pitching coach for the Twins, out there to talk with his pitcher. Entire infield and the catcher Vasquez in there as well. But yeah, it started with IKF takes off. Then Ernie singles the ball to left field. IKF hesitated for a second, but decided to go full force to third. Martin bounces the throw in, and right when Martin released the throw to third, Clement takes off from first base because he's so quick. By the time Martin threw it, Clement was already at the bag. He takes second.
Austin Martin needs to throw that ball to second base to keep Ernie Clement at first base, keep the double play in order, and Ernie Clement is the go-ahead run. This is a pitcher's duel. Every run matters, so you have to keep that go-ahead run from advancing one base like Ernie Clement did there on the errant throw.
Second and third, no outs. The pitch to Davis Schneider. Called strike one. 2-1 Twins, bottom of the fifth inning. First time today that the Blue Jays have put multiple runners in scoring position, and the first time they've had a runner in scoring position with nobody out. 0-1 to Schneider. Popped up foul back into the seats, 0-2.
The middle infield is back, willing to give up a run for an out.
Corners, though, playing in. Maybe the middle feeling like they can't get the speed of IKF if he runs on contact. IKF leads off in foul territory off third. Clement off second. 2-strike pitch from Joe Ryan. Swing and a miss. Strike three. Schneider smacks his helmet, expanding the zone there for that fastball. 6th K of the day for Ryan, 1 out.
And that's something that can happen. You can see Davis Schneider didn't really change his approach there with 2 strikes, a guy on third base, and basically the Twins giving you that run. Just hit the ball on the ground to the middle of the field. That's all you have to try to do there, and this is a tie ball game.
Interesting now with 1 out, the Twins will bring the whole infield in. Correa playing up the middle on the edge of the turf. First pitch to Varsho, ripped to first, caught on a line by Santana. Great contact from Dalton Varsho, hit it to the exact wrong spot. And second and third, no outs, has turned into second and third, 2 outs. Although Vladimir Guerrero Jr. comes up, he's 2 for 2.
That's why that guy that comes up to the plate with runners in scoring position and no outs has to put the bat on the ball. That's the most important thing in that situation. You're not trying to get a base hit there. The Twins are giving you a run. Just take it.
First pitch to Guerrero. Called strike one. Take a quick look at the injury report brought to you by Bergmanis Prira Personal Injury Lawyers. If life has thrown you a curveball and you're striking out with your insurance company, get ahead of the count and call Bergmanis Prira Personal Injury Lawyers. You focus on getting better, and Bergmanis Prira will take care of the rest. Visit bplawyers.ca. 0-1 pitch down and away, 1-1. We'll give you the spark notes quickly. Bowden Francis threw a 2-upside yesterday. 42 pitches in a bullpen. It went pretty well, says John Schneider. Chad Green to throw a bullpen today. Yariel Rodriguez throwing here in Toronto, and Jimmy Garcia available tonight. 1-1 to Guerrero. Swing and a miss. Big hack from Vladdy. It's 1-2. He even tips Vasquez on the backswing by accident and apologizes to the Twins catcher.
That was a big, wild swing. Vlad trying to go big fly there, trying to hit a 3-run homer. Just keep hitting the ball on the line.
Second and third for the Blue Jays, 2 outs. The 1-2. Off the end of the bat, a looper to right field, backing up and making the catch, Marco, to end the inning. The Blue Jays start the inning with a pair of hits and strand the runners on second and third after having them there with nobody out. They trail 2-1 headed to the 6th. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Bring excitement to your landscape with Proven Winners Color Choice shrubs. These flowering shrubs and evergreens have been trialed and tested by experts to make sure they look better and bloom better. So they're just as easy to care for as what's in your landscape now, but a whole lot more colorful and interesting. Look for Proven Winners Color Choice shrubs in the distinctive white container at your local garden center, or learn more at provenwinnerscolorchoice.com.
When Blue Jays left-hander Yusei Kikuchi strikes a batter out, fans get to witness the Kikuchi K-Strut. What is the K-Strut? It's an arms-flailing, feet-kicking, fist-pumping, head-spinning, energy-recoiling, absolutely electric strikeout celebration that, well, you just gotta see it.
He's something else, man.
On Wednesday, May 22nd, strut down to the ballpark. The first 15,000 fans get a Yusei Kikuchi bobblehead. What do you say? Find your seats at BlueJays.com.
The hardest work should lead to the best quality of life. If you're a skilled trades worker, you might not be feeling that way right now. But in Alberta, skilled trades workers can earn more, save more, and live more with better wages and a lower cost of living. Visit albertaiscalling.ca to learn more about the $5,000 moving bonus for the first 2,000 skilled trades workers who move to Alberta, stay for a year, and successfully apply. A message from the Government of Alberta.
Hey, this is David Schneider.
Now
You're listening to Toronto Blue Jays baseball on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
The sixth inning is brought to you by Desjardins Insurance, helping Canadians through it all. Desjardins Insurance, insurance with a heart so big, it shows. 2-1 Twins, top of the sixth at Rogers Center. Yusei Kikuchi's first pitch to Ryan Jeffers is flied out to center field. Dalton Varsho under it, makes the catch. 1 out. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue now with 1 out in the top of the sixth. Yusei Kikuchi has thrown only 77 pitches. He's been really good today.
Well, 2 times today he's thrown first pitch and gotten the first out. And like we've mentioned, he is just filling up the strike zone with that fastball. And I think that's the most important thing for him. He can work that curveball in. He can work that slider in. We didn't see a good changeup from him today. So Yusei Kikuchi, I mean, no surprise to anybody now, but he's been dominant.
His first pitch to Carlos Correa, guess what, is strike. It's 0-1. Kikuchi's thrown over 2/3 of his pitches for strikes so far. Correa's going to ask for time and step out of the box. Gives us a sec to look at the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard. It's the top of the seventh in St. Petersburg, and the Yankees still up 1-0 on the back of that Anthony Rizzo RBI single. Clark Schmidt has thrown 6 scoreless for the Bronx Bombers. 0-1 to Correa. Outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. Elsewhere on the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard, Boston Red Sox are on the board, trailing Washington 3-1, top of the sixth. Garrett Cooper doubled for the Red Sox off Patrick Corbin. 1-1. Correa pops it up back of first. IKF and Vladdy sprinting into right, but it's Biggio, the right fielder, coming in to make the catch. And there are 2 outs.
And we were talking about Paul Skeens earlier, starting tomorrow being obviously the top prospect in all of baseball. But they have another guy starting tonight. He's a rookie. This is his first season. His name is Jared Jones. He's 2-3 with a 2.66 ERA in 8 starts. He's leading the Cubs tonight 2-1. Embarrassment of riches over there in Pittsburgh.
He's nasty. He is nasty, Jared Jones. First pitch to Willie Castro, cut and a miss, strike 1. And they've kind of, had him on a limit for a lot of the year. I remember from a couple weeks ago in the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard, I think he punched out like 8 Mets in 5 innings as a rookie. 0-1. Ground ball broke the bat of Castro, rolls into the glove of the second baseman IKF, who throws overhand to end the inning. 1-2-3-4 Kikuchi blanks the Twins in the top of the sixth, but it's still 2-1 Minnesota, middle of the sixth inning at Rogers Center. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
As Disturbed, Slipknot, and more prepare to invade Daytona Beach.
Pregame for the 2024 Welcome to Rockville Festival.
With an exclusive limited engagement channel, Rockville Radio. Now for a limited time in the SiriusXM app.
And catch wall-to-wall coverage and performances from the Rockville Music Festival.
All this weekend on Octane, Channel 37. Schedule at SiriusXM.com/Rockville.
The South Carolina Gamecocks are on top of the women's college basketball world yet again.
Perfection for South Carolina. 38 games, 38 wins.
We're reacting to the perfect season and talking to the biggest names right here on Channel 374.
Congratulations, Coach Saley. What does this particular title mean to you?
This title is pretty special because it was unexpected.
Keep it locked into SiriusXM SEC Radio as we continue to break it all down and celebrate the Gamecocks' 3rd national title.
You love listening to baseball. You love talking about baseball, and so do we. That's why SiriusXM has the only channel on the radio dedicated to baseball 24/7. It's MLB Network Radio, SiriusXM Channel 89. News, opinions, passionate baseball talk from former players and GMs, plus interviews with players, managers, and executives, original specials, and much, much, much more. All baseball, every day, on your radio. If you can hear me right now, you've got MLB Network Radio, SiriusXM Channel 89, and on the SiriusXM app.
In season or out of season, the #1 place for college sports is SiriusXM College Sports Radio, Channel 84.
Radio Network.
Welcome to the Timbermart broadcast booth. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue, Show Ali, our host and producer, Luke Swadron and Tom Young, our technical directors. Bottom of the sixth at Rogers Center. 2-1 Twins, and the first pitch to Justin Turner is taken for ball one. Borderline pitch goes against the Minnesota starter, Joe Ryan. Turner with a hard line out to right in the first, a soft one to short in the fourth, 0 for 2. And he takes the 1-0 at the knees for strike one. Red-haired DH steps into the box, crowding the plate but leaning back. 1-1 pitch is grounded softly to short, picked up by Correa. Foes in the 2017 World Series, Correa throws over to first and retires Turner, one down.
Another tough pitch right there from Joe Ryan, a sinker right on the hands of Justin Turner. He gets sawed off and hits a little weak ground ball to Carlos Correa. Joe Ryan seems to be getting better. His stuff isn't as good as it was in the first couple of innings, but he's just making better pitches right now.
He's in his third time through the order, and the only run he's allowed came back in the third inning on a solo home run. First pitch to Danny Jansen, called strike one. Isaiah Kiner-Falefa was the one who hit the homer. Jansen today, who has 3 homers this season, is 0 for 2. 0-1. Outside, 1 ball and 1 strike.
Well, he also snuck out of a huge jam in the last inning. The Blue Jays should have definitely had 1 run.
Second and third, nobody out. Top of the order up.
You have to score at least 1 run there.
Swing and a miss. And it's 1 ball and 2 strikes after Jansen swings way ahead of that splitter. Ryan is looking good, but his time might be limited as Cole Sands, the right-hander, is getting loose in the right field bullpen. 1-2 pitch. Jansen fouls it off.
Yeah, Joe Ryan just threw his 89th pitch of the day. I would imagine this would be his last inning. I'm assuming the Twins wouldn't throw him over 100 pitches.
Still a young starting pitcher. Hasn't reached 100 yet this year. His 1-2 is hit on the ground by Jansen to the forehand side of Correa. Shortstop picks it up, bullet over to first. 2 outs. A week today, May 17th, is a celebration for the Hound on the Mound. Join the Blue Jays for Country Night and be one of the first 15,000 fans in the building. You could walk away with a Chris Bassett Hound on the Mound bobblehead giveaway. Go to BlueJays.com/bobbleheads to get your tickets. I know you're excited for that one.
Oh, my dad's excited. He loves bobbleheads too.
Bo Bichette fouls off the first pitch he sees to make it 0-1. Bichette 1 for 2. Bases empty. 2 outs. 2-1 Twins. Bottom of the sixth. Second game in a row that Bichette bats in the number 6 spot. 0-1. Hit on the ground left side. Picked up by the third baseman Miranda. He'll flip it over to first and end the inning. 3 ground balls produced out of the right arm of Joe Ryan. He blanks the Blue Jays in the 6th, and it's 2-1 Twins headed to the 7th. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
How country is Blue Jays pitcher Chris Bassett? He's so country, he showers in his boots. His truck needs 3 parking spots. He's so country, he played the banjo in his high school band. Chris Bassett is so country that he wants you down at the ballpark for Country Night. Arrive early on Country Night to get your Chris Bassett Hound on the Mound bobblehead, live country music, and featuring a pregame performance by Owen Riegling. Country Night, Friday, May 17th. For tickets, visit BlueJays.com.
Not tomorrow, not someday. The home improvements begin today. It's game on with Timbermart. Build that deck, raise that fence, landscape till your property is beautiful. Don't pay for 12 months on the Timbermart Deferred Payment Program. Your locally owned, completely Canadian hub of building and renovation expertise. Get your Timbermart credit card at participating locations and pay later. 12 months later. Conditions apply. Ask in store for details or apply at timbermart.ca.
We're 2 men in a truck. The movers who care. You never know when cardiac arrest can happen. That's why each and every one of our trucks carries a life-saving Mikey defibrillator as part of our Mikey on Board program. Whether we're on the highway or in front of your house, we're prepared to help anyone whose heart may skip a beat. The Mikey Network has saved many lives, making Mikey's accessible to the public. And now they're on board our trucks. We're 2 men in a truck.
2 men and a truck, the movers who care.
Hey,
this is Chris Bassett. You're listening to Toronto Blue Jays Baseball on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome back to downtown Toronto at Rogers Center. It's the 7th inning between the Blue Jays and the Twins. Yusei Kikuchi, the starter, is still on for Toronto, and he misses high and outside to the cleanup hitter Jose Miranda to start the frame. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Kikuchi has been really good today, allowing just 2 runs on 4 hits over 6 innings. 1-0 is smoked down the left field line, foul. 1 ball and 1 strike. This would be a good start in any situation so far for Kikuchi, but if you look at the Twins, who have won 15 of 17, since April 22nd, they've scored over 6.5 runs per game and batted .300 as a team, and he has largely kept them quiet. The 1-1, fouled back 1-2. He just hasn't had the offense on his side to give the Blue Jays a lead.
I think that's the biggest thing for Yusei. He just continues to grind through this ball game, giving the Blue Jays a chance to win. All they need is a couple of runs. They had the opportunity earlier in this ball game, but couldn't come through.
1-2 changeup from Kikuchi, misses outside. A check swing from Miranda. 2-2. Blue Jays actually out hitting the Twins 6-4. But just 1 run for Toronto. 2-2. Went low with the curve, and Miranda laid off. Full count. Jose Miranda knocked in the first Twins run on a soft rolling single to right center field in the first. Three-2 pitch. Hit hard to third, picked up on the backhand side by Clement. Bounces the throw over to first on 2 hops. It's picked by Guerrero for the first out. Nice play, third to first by Ernie Clement.
That was a great play from Ernie Clement. Not only the backhanded pickup down that line, but the throw. 2 hops to first base is always easier to make a good throw than trying to throw that ball all the way in the air. You risk throwing it over the first baseman's head if you do that.
Clement was off the dirt, foul, and got that throw over. First pitch now to Manuel Margot is sent a mile high back of second. Bo Bichette, the shortstop, makes the catch on the left center field turf. 2 outs.
And Yenesis Cabrera is warming up in that bullpen. Yusei Kikuchi has thrown 89 pitches. You think he's done after this inning?
I mean, I wonder where Cabrera figures in, because they're all righties right now. There are 2 switch hitters, including one at the plate right now for Minnesota, Carlos Santana. Batting right, the first pitch is called strike 1. I almost wonder if it, and who knows, if it's insurance against a lefty pinch hitter being called on. If John Schneider wants to show Rocco Baldelli that they'll have a lefty ready. 0-1 pitch, Santana bounces it to third, picked up waist high by Clement, shuffles, throws to first, and ends the inning. Another 1, 2, 3, 4 Kikuchi. He's retired 9 in a row and gone through 7 innings, allowing just 2 runs. 2-1 for the Twins at the 7th inning stretch. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
At Crown Rust Control Center, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control Center is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know spring's the best time of year to protect your vehicle from rust? For a special spring offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
How can Blue Jays closer Jordan Romano improve on his already iconic entrance from the bullpen? Tim Meza and Eric Swanson had their own thoughts.
Hear me out. We shoot you out of a cannon. Picture this. Gate opens and you ride in on a moose. One word, roller skate. Super trendy right now.
Romano's thoughts?
I appreciate the ideas, but I got this.
On Monday, May 20th, the first 15,000 fans will get a Jordan Romano blue replica jersey. For tickets, visit BlueJays.com.
So that's a no on the moose?
I am by your side. Got a heart so big, on this you can rely. No mountains too tall, For the strong boots to climb, I am by your side.
That was Desjardins Insurance, playing insurance with a heart so big it shows. Tune in for your auto and home coverage at desjardins.com/heart.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Bichette powers the ball to left field. Going back, Peralta. It's out of here.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Home half of the 7th at Rogers Center. Blue Jays trailing 2-1 in this series opener against the Minnesota Twins. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Kevin Biggio leads off against Joe Ryan. The Twins starter's first pitch is hidden to left field in the air and caught by Austin Martin 15 feet in front of the track. 1 out.
And we were wondering if Joe Ryan had just finished his last inning, and he's back out for this bottom of the 7th inning.
93 pitches delivered now by Ryan after that first pitch out. Season high for Ryan is 96. He threw that at Detroit on April 13th. Here's Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, 2 for 2 with a home run, and he takes strike one with a fastball. On the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard, this isn't the only wild card rematch right now. The next pitch is in there for strike 2 to IKF. The Phillies, who defeated the Marlins last year, visiting Miami up 6-0. 0-2 pitch is hit foul down the right field line into the seats. Still 0-2. Phillies, who just split a series with the Blue Jays, have relied upon a pair of hits from JT Realmuto today, Kyle Schwarber, and Christian Pache. 0-2 to IKF. Fouled off to the right side again. Still no balls and 2 strikes in our check on Philadelphia, Miami. Once again brought to you by St. Louis Bar and Grill.
I think because of the Marlins are so bad this year at 10-29.
Next pitch, cut on and missed. Strike 3. IKF goes down, 2 outs.
People forget that they were even in the playoffs last year.
And understandably so. They are really, really bad, and they've traded their best player away about 35 games into the season. So that's Luis Ariz, who's now on the San Diego Padres. 2 outs here between the Twins and the Blue Jays. Bottom of the 7th, nobody on. And Ernie Clement is coming to the plate. He's 1 for 2. Singled in the 5th inning. The time when the Blue Jays probably should have tied this game or taken the lead. First pitch to Clement is called strike 1. Joe Ryan is on his season high in pitches as he just threw his 99th. Into the wind, here's 100. And Clement takes it down and away. After Clement's single on a hit and run, or maybe a run and hit with Isaiah Kiner-Falefa on first, it was 2nd and 3rd for the Blue Jays, no outs, and they would not score. 1-1, check swing by Clement, appeal down to first. He went around, says Phil Cuzzy. It's 1-2.
Yeah, that run and hit was executed to perfection. IKF taking off, and Ernie Clement hitting a good line drive.
Clement trying to extend this inning for Schneider. 1-2, down and away. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And a hit and run, a mandatory swing, a run and hit, not a mandatory swing. Don't know which one it was, but didn't look like he had to swing. 2-2. Clement bounces it softly down the third baseline, foul.
Well, I think it had to be a run and hit because there was 2 strikes, wasn't it?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And I mean, Clement's aggressive, but if you give a guy a hit and run with 2 strikes and a pitch is 10 feet above his head, what's he supposed to do with that?
Forcing a guy to swing with 2 strikes?
That would be tough. Although you don't really have to force Ernie Clement, who doesn't have enough plate appearances to qualify right now, but was one of the highest swing percentage guys in all of Major League Baseball a couple weeks ago when he was qualifying. Here's the 2-2. Broken bat bouncer, softly to short, picked up by Correa, throw on the run, beats Clement by a step to end the inning. 7 innings of 1-run ball for Joe Ryan. We head to the 8th with the Twins leading 2-1 in Toronto. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Fuel your fandom when you listen to live sports on the all-new Sirius XM app.
It's deep, it's going, and it is gone! It is bedlam at the bank!
Hear the games you just can't miss.
DiVincenzo again. Knicks lead, 13 seconds to go!
And get closer to the teams you love wherever you are.
Connor McDavid wins the game for Edmonton!
The action you crave is just a tap away. Live sports. Live on the all-new Sirius XM app.
You gotta love sports!
Sports!
Are you regretting eating that gas station hot dog? Yeah, we know. We've been there too. This is a message for baseball fans like you. Did you know that you get a channel that's talking baseball 24/7 as part of your Sirius XM subscription?
What?
Our lineup includes shows hosted by former big leaguers and executives. Plus, you'll hear from 17 managers each week. MLB Network Radio is on Sirius XM Channel 89. Or just search MLB Network Radio on the SXM app. Sirius XM Sports. We're more than just a game.
After injuries caused Brooks Koepka to wonder whether he could ever be healthy enough to win another major, that question was answered at the 2023 PGA Championship.
Koepka taps in for par. Brooks Koepka is the winner of the 105th PGA Championship. Impressive performance.
His fifth major title came in a two-shot win over Victor Hovland. Listen to the 106th PGA Championship beginning May 13th on Sirius XM Channel 92 and on the all-new Sirius XM app.
Fantasy Sports Radio is helping you win whichever fantasy sport you play. Right now on Channel 87 and on the all-new Sirius XM app.
Into the 8th inning goes Yusei Kikuchi. A phenomenal start for the left-hander from Japan today, and he starts with Kyle Farmer. In his 8th inning of work, he starts with strike one with a fastball. 2-1 Twins over Blue Jays, but Toronto not losing because of the effort of the southpaw. First time Kikuchi pitches into the 8th this year. Here's his 0-1, and it's called strike two.
And he looks better now than he did in that first inning. That last fastball up and in to Kyle Farmer, 97 miles an hour with a lot of life.
If Kikuchi gets an out here, it'll be a longer appearance than he had all of last season with the Blue Jays. 0-2, cut on and miss, strike three. Kikuchi fans Farmer for the first out.
Another good changeup. We haven't seen many of them today as Kyle Farmer swings right over the top of that thing.
Yusei Kikuchi with his longest appearance now as a Blue Jay. And the first pitch he throws to Christian Vasquez is popped up in foul territory. First base side, playable for Guerrero, two-handed catch. Quickly, 2 outs for Kikuchi, who now matches his longest start since he threw a complete game here in Toronto in 2019 as a Mariner. That was August 18th, 2019. He threw a shutout, not just a complete game, as a Mariner against the Blue Jays. Here's his pitch to Austin Martin with 2 down, and it's called strike one. 2-1 Twins over the Blue Jays, top of the 8th inning. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Bases are empty. Martin's 0 for 2, the former Blue Jays first-round pick. 0-1. Popped him up. Guerrero freezes at first, walks to his left, shuffles back right, and makes the catch to end the inning. How about 8 innings of 2-run ball from Yusei Kikuchi? Now he asks the offense to pick him up. Middle of the 8th, it's 2-1 Twins. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
At Crown Rust Control, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know spring's the best time of year to protect your vehicle from rust? For a special spring offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
We're 2 men and a truck. So, you're moving to a new home, and all that's left to do is to call a mover you know you can trust. Well, naturally, you think 2 men and a truck, since you know they have lots of men and lots of trucks. They'll wrap, pack, and move everything you own. With a 96% referral rating and the professionalism you can trust, the choice is simple. For a free in-home estimate, call today. We're 2 men and a truck.
2 men and a truck, the movers who care.
The hardest work should lead to the best quality of life. If you're a skilled trades worker, you might not be feeling that way right now. But in Alberta, Skilled trades workers can earn more, save more, and live more with better wages and a lower cost of living. Visit albertaiscalling.ca to learn more about the $5,000 moving bonus for the first 2,000 skilled trades workers who move to Alberta, stay for a year, and successfully apply. A message from the Government of Alberta.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
That ball's gone! Two-run shot, Kevin Kiermaier.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
This copyrighted broadcast is presented by authority of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership or the Sportsnet Radio Network. Bottom of the 8th inning in Toronto. Blue Jays trailing 2-1 here in the Timber Mart broadcast booth. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Joe Ryan, the Minnesota starter, finally out of this game after 7 strong innings. And Minnesota goes right to the closer. Joan Duran is in the game right now for the Twins. His first pitch to Davis Schneider is high, ball 1. Not many who throw the ball harder than the tall right-hander for the Twins. He'll ask for a new baseball after that first pitch. Here's the 1-0. Called strike on the inside edge. Schneider had jumped out of the way of the sweeper. Duran starting Schneider with 2 straight breaking balls, even though he averages 101 on the fastball. Will throw a splitter as well, his 1-1. Bounce that splitter. Or I make that the curve, actually. 2 balls and 1 strike.
Well, Duran's only appeared in 5 games this year, throwing 5 innings, only 2 hits, and walking nobody. So he does throw a lot of strikes for a guy that has that kind of stuff.
Here's his 2-1. High and outside with the fastball, ball 3. Limited appearances for the imposing right-hander from the Dominican Republic because he strained his oblique in the spring in mid-March. Debuted in the majors this year on April 30th. They kind of closed by committee before. 3-1 to Schneider's high, ball 4, and Davis Schneider in the leadoff spot reaches on a 5-pitch walk for the first time today.
And now, especially against a guy like Duran, you have to try to manufacture something. You can't expect to string together a bunch of hits. So you have to get Schneider over to second base somehow. Dalton Varsho needs to put the bat on the ball, whether it's a bunt, whether it's a base hit, or whether it's something in the gap.
Blue Jays have a pair of relievers getting loose in Pearson and Garcia. Down 2-1, runner on first. The pitch to Varsho's high, ball 1.
And you do have your hottest hitter in Vlad Jr. coming up next.
Christian Vasquez, the catcher, out to the mound. So is the Dominican first baseman Carlos Santana. Duran actually originally a signing of the Arizona Diamondbacks out of the Dominican Republic in 2014. Was a starter, which I can only imagine what that looked like in the minor leagues, and was traded in 2018 in the Eduardo Escobar deal that sent Escobar from the Twins to the Diamondbacks, sent Duran the other way. Runner on first, no outs, 2-1 Twins, and the 1-0 to Varsho. Bouncing ball headed for second, picked up by Farmer, turns, throws to second for 1, back to first. Double play, 4-6-3, Farmer, Correa to Santana, and the mound meeting certainly worked there as 1 pitch erases the leadoff walk and Varsho. 2 outs and nobody on. Here's Vladdy.
Well, that was a big rally killer right there. Probably the last thing you want to do. You'd rather strike out than hit into a double play there. And Varsho hits that good sinker from Duran right to the second baseman. Carlos Correa with the good play. Strike to first base. Carlos Santana with the stretch.
Here's Guerrero, 2 for 3 today. The pitch. Fastball for a strike, 99 at the knees. Be interesting here if they were to stick with the closer, Rocco Baldelli, maybe in the 9th inning with Duran, or do they go to Griffin Jacks, who led them in saves while Duran was injured? Swing and a miss by Guerrero. It's now 0-2. 2 outs, bases empty, 2-1 Twins, bottom of the 8th.
I would imagine a guy that's only appeared in 5 games, you don't make him throw 2 innings.
Probably not, right? That feels
That feels right.
Feels right, although he's gotten 2 outs in 9 pitches. He only needs one more strike here to end the inning. Nobody up for the Twins. Here's the 0-2 to Guerrero. Down and away. Vladdy started the swing, but lays off. 1-2.
Although Duran does have 2 holds this season. He has 3 saves, but 2 holds.
I mean, they got Jax going. He has been good for them so far. 1-2 pitch. Hit foul. Down the right field line, out of play. Not to mention they won 12 in a row. So you might run into a couple times where they had to look for saves back-to-back. Couldn't use him or didn't want to use him coming off the injury back-to-back. And so they'd go to Jax or any of the other guys who had multiple saves. 3 guys with multiple saves other than Duran for Minnesota. He's into the wind. His 1-2 to Guerrero. Low and away. Ball 2.
And that fastball previous to that last one was 102.3 miles an hour that Vlad fouled back.
That's tough.
With a little bit of movement, too. He has a decent amount of sink to that fastball.
Here's the right-hander's 2-2. Guerrero chops it to short. Picked up by Correa. Crow hopping to throw to first. Beats Vladdy by his step to end the inning. Leadoff walk is taken away by the ground ball double play. Guerrero grounds out, and the Blue Jays go down 1-2-3 in the bottom of the 8th. 2-1 Minnesota headed to the 9th. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Netflix is a Joke Radio brings you exclusive comedy specials and stand-up from Netflix's massive library from the world's biggest comedians.
He's Mick Jagger. I pitched him a joke and he went, "Not funny."
We give you unparalleled access to Netflix's top premieres. And join Tom, Papa, and Fortune Feimster every day for interviews with the biggest names in comedy.
Netflix is a Joke Radio, Channel 93.
Search comedy on the all-new SiriusXM app.
Each night after the horn sounds, NBA Radio has you covered with the best analysis of all the games.
When healthy, they check a lot of boxes.
We'll break down the playoff action.
Tatum saw it coming, picked it off, drives in, and throws it down with 2 hands.
And take you inside the locker room to hear from the players and coaches.
It seemed like we had a lot of guys that were getting banged up, but we were able to get the job done.
Hear the NBA Radio Playoffs postgame show every night throughout the postseason on NBA Radio Channel 86 and the all-new SiriusXM app.
You love listening to baseball. You love talking about baseball. You love yelling at your buddies about baseball because they love baseball, and so do we. That's why SiriusXM has the only channel on the radio dedicated to baseball 24/7. It's MLB Network Radio, SiriusXM Channel 89. News, opinions, passionate baseball talk from former players and GMs, plus interviews with players, managers, and executives, and much, much, much more. If you can hear me right now, you've got MLB Network Radio, SiriusXM Channel 89, and on the SiriusXM app.
You want baseball? The doggy has you covered. Tune in to Mad Dog Unleashed for the best baseball coverage anywhere. Weekdays 3 to 6 Eastern. SiriusXM Mad Dog Sports Radio, Channel 82.
A Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome back to the Timbermark broadcast booth. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue, Luke Swadron, and Tom Young, our technical directors. Show Ali, our host and producer today. And following the game, Jays Talk with Blair and Barker. 9th inning starts with a pitching change for Toronto. Finally, Yusei Kikuchi comes out of the game. Nate Pearson enters for the Blue Jays, who trail 2-1 with the top of the order coming up for Minnesota. Ryan Jeffers, the DH, leads off for the Twins. He's 0 for 3. First pitch from Nate Pearson is a breaking ball for strike 1. How about the day for Kikuchi? He goes 8 innings in the start for the Blue Jays. 4 hits, only one of them came after the first inning. 2 earned runs, no walks, 3 strikeouts, and he's in line for the loss. 0-1, swing and a miss. 0-2.
Well, we knew it was going to be hard for this Toronto offense going up against Joe Ryan. But the Blue Jays did have their chances.
0-2 pitch is a breaking ball down and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Pearson against Jeffers to start the 9th. The big shots for Toronto were first and second with 2 outs in the 4th. And that was a strikeout from Kevin Biggio. And then really the 5th was when the Blue Jays could have scored. 1-2 pitch. Called strike 3. Pearson gets some help. That pitch looked a little bit outside, but it's a strikeout of Jeffers on the fastball for the first out.
Well, Ryan Jeffers was correct right there. That was about a ball off the plate. It didn't really look like a strike from here, and watching that replay, that was well off the plate. Nate Pearson gets a gift right there to start this inning.
One out and Carlos Correa up, who has one of those 4 hits today against Yusei Kikuchi. First pitch he sees is ripped into left field and landing on the warning track. Picked up by Schneider. Correa digging for second, and the throw bounces past Bo Bichette, the cutoff man. So it's a stand-up double for Carlos Correa here with 1 out.
Well, Carlos Correa was sitting fastball right there. He hits that 99-mile-an-hour fastball from Nate Pearson. That it was actually in off the plate. You have to be sitting fastball there to make good contact on that pitch, and he drills it, one-hop that wall in left field.
Even if you are sitting fastball, that's pretty impressive to get around on a pitch like that. Here's Willie Castro up now after just the second hit by the Twins since the first inning. Castro had one of those hits in the first, and he takes inside at 98 and looked a little bit blown away by that pitch, turning and walking away. It's 1-0. 2-1 Twins. Top of the ninth. Pearson trying to keep it a 1-run game. The 1-0. Called strike. 1-1.
And I guess Duran isn't the closer for this Minnesota Twins team. Griffin Jack's warming up in that bullpen right now.
And like you had mentioned, and we talked about a bit, he hasn't been healthy for very long, so perhaps it's a bit of a committee for now. 1-1. Breaking ball hit on the ground to second, picked up by IKF. Overhand throw to first, 2 outs. Correa advances from second to third on the play. Here comes Jose Miranda. Or no, it'll be a pinch hitter instead. Max Kepler is into the game, a pinch hitter. And John Schneider was waiting for this move. He has Yenesis Cabrera, the lefty, up. And Cabrera will come in to go left on left with Kepler. Runner on third, 2 outs. Top of the ninth inning, 2-1 Twins. And for the first time today, let's go to baseball control with our host, Show Ali.
Better late than never, right, guys? All right, welcome back to Baseball Control. Show Ali with you. Before we check that St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard, don't forget, we do have Jays Talk this evening. Blair and Barker have you covered. They will take your calls. Blair is down at the Rogers Center with the guys. He will throw out the numbers to call after the final out. All right, let's check the Stanley Cup playoffs on the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard. Round 2 in full swing. 2 games on the schedule tonight. Panthers at Bruins, Game 3 on the go. The series is tied 1-1 prior to puck drop tonight in Boston. Right now, Florida leading 3-0 thanks to Evan Rodriguez, Vladimir Tarasenko, and Carter Verhaeghe. The last 2 guys scoring on the same power play with minutes to go in the second period. Right now, just a couple minutes into the third period. Still 3-0 Florida over Boston. You can watch it on Sportsnet and the CBC. Later tonight, about 45 minutes. We'll get Game 2 of Oilers at Canucks in Vancouver at Rogers Arena. Puck drop goes at 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific. Canucks lead the series 1-0 after a very dramatic comeback in Game 1. You can watch it on Sportsnet and the CBC as well. Listen to it also on Sportsnet 650 in Vancouver. Canucks Central will have you covered pregame and postgame also in the NBA. 2 games on the go. Round 2 continues on the hard court. Knicks at Pacers. The Knicks leading 99-96, 99-98 now with 7 minutes to go. Blue Jays Baseball is brought to you by Crown Rust Protection. Back to the Rogers Center. Here's Ben and Chris.
Thank you very much, Joe. Yenesis Cabrera getting his final warm-up pitches in before looking for just 1 out. That's all John Schneider has asked of him right now. Bringing in the lefty Cabrera to face left-handed pinch hitter Max Kepler. 2-1 for the Twins, top of the ninth. 2 outs. Carlos Correa on third, and both Cabrera and Kepler come into this game cold with 2 outs in the ninth.
Well, Yenesis Cabrera will have to be careful with Max Kepler. Over his last 7 games, over his last 15 games, Max Kepler is hitting .408 with 3 home runs and 11 RBIs.
Kepler, one of the best players on this team, not in the starting lineup because the Twins really like to play the lefty-lefty or righty-righty or avoid those matchups if possible. Runner on third, 2 down. Infield shifts to the pull. The lefty Cabrera deals to the lefty swinger Kepler, who takes inside, ball 1.
And now that you've fallen behind, you have to be careful. You don't want to throw him something fat down the middle. That run at third base is a big run especially with Griffin Jacks warming up in that bullpen down there.
The German pinch hitter Kepler ahead in the count, batting .329 on the year, and he takes a pitch that's called just below the zone, 2-0. Kepler on an 11-game hit streak right now. When he returned off the injured list on April 22nd, the Twins started this run. They've won 15 of 17. 2-0 pitch. Hit hard on the ground, through the hole on the right side, a base hit. Correa comes in to score. Max Kepler delivers, and it's 3-1 for the Twins.
And that's what you have to try to avoid. First of all, falling behind Max Kepler 1-0, and then 2-0, and then trying to fight back by throwing a fastball right down the middle. Max Kepler right on that baseball. Yes, it was 97 miles an hour, but Max Kepler is a very good hitter and just hits that ball into right field. You can see Yusei Cabrera frustrated with himself. I'd be frustrated that I fell behind him more so than I made that last pitch.
Twins extend their lead. First pitch to Manuel Margot is fouled off the mask of Danny Jansen. 0-1. New baseball being walked out by Tom Hanahan, and a time to remind you that you should get ready for Tuesday Night Baseball at Rogers Center with a special treat, Looney Dogs Night, presented by Schneider's. Join in on Tuesday, May 21st for a night of fun, including the hot dog teeter-totter at Schneider's porch, and of course, $1 hot dogs. Get your tickets today at BlueJays.com/Looney Dogs. 2 outs and a runner on first. A run in this inning for the Twins. They're up 3-1. Here's the pitch to Margot. Fouled off, 0-2.
Yeah, I think after falling behind 2-0 to Max Kepler, everybody on this Blue Jays team knows that he's the guy that's the hottest in this lineup. I think that after falling behind 2-0, I kind of just pitch around him.
Because now Margot's up. He's a 162 hitter who's 0 for 3 today. Instead, though, Kepler came up with the single to add a little bit of insurance for the Twins, and now the 0-2 pitch in the dirt. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
And even after falling behind 1-0, I probably think about pitching around him.
Twins getting a pair of right-handers loose now. Jacks, likely if it stays close for a save. Cole Sands is up for a second time today, perhaps if the Twins extend the lead. 1-2. Off the end of the bat, liner into right field, a base hit. Around second, chugging for third is Kepler. The throw from Biggio goes back into second base. It's back-to-back base hits off of Yusei Cabrera, and it's first and third here for the Twins with 2 outs. (3-1) Twins. Here comes Carlos Santana, whose home run in the 5th is the difference in this ball game. He sent a ball to right field for a solo home run. And by the way, when a ball is sent to deep right field, you'll be able to be there and catch it. Rogers Landing is the perfect place to watch the game and catch some home runs. To visit Rogers Landing and other great spots in the outfield district, visit BlueJays.com/outfield district ticket. 2 outs, top of the 9th. Runners on the corners. Cabrera, the lefty, deals to the right-handed switch hitter Santana, who swings and misses. 0-1. Obviously bats left-handed as well, but today has hit right-handed all 4 times. Kepler on third, Margot on first. The run charged to Pearson, but 2 hits have come for the Twins after Cabrera came in. 0-1. Called strike 2. Santana ducked out of the way. That ball landed at the upper and outer part of the zone, and it was a fastball. I don't know what Carlos Santana saw there. It's 0-2.
Well, whatever it was a bad acting job.
It's a lot harder from down there than up here, but that one was interesting. Blue Jays bullpen and Twins bullpen both have action. Trevor Richards is up for Toronto with Griffin Jackson, Cole Sands up for Minnesota. 2 outs, 2 on for the Twins. 3-1 game, top of the 9th. And a step and throw over to first. Guerrero takes the throw and looks over at the runner at third, Max Kepler. Neither runner really went anywhere.
He's just having fun. He's been having fun all day.
He's come up with 2 hits. The Blue Jays, though, don't have many around him. IKF and Vlad responsible for 2/3 of Toronto's hits. Runner takes off from first on the 0-2. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Breaking ball in the dirt. Tag applied by Jansen to end the inning. Twins, though, come up with a run on 3 hits. They leave a pair on and take a 3-1 lead to the bottom of the 9th. Griffin Jacks entering the game for the Twins, looking for a save. The Blue Jays look for a walk-off when we return. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rush Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Bring excitement to your landscape with proven winners, Color Choice Shrubs. These flowering shrubs and evergreens have been trialed and tested by experts to make sure they look better and bloom better, so they're just as easy to care for as what's in your landscape now, but a whole lot more colorful and interesting. Look for proven winners, Color Choice Shrubs, in the distinctive white container at your local garden center, or learn more at provenwinnerscolorchoice.com.
Not tomorrow, not someday. The home improvements begin today. It's game on with Timber Mart. Build that deck, raise that fence, landscape till your property is beautiful. Don't pay for 12 months on the Timber Mart deferred payment program. Your locally owned, completely Canadian hub of building and renovation expertise. Get your Timber Mart credit card at participating locations and pay later. 12 months later. Conditions apply. Ask in store for details or apply at timbermart.ca.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
In time! What a play, Bo Bichette!
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome back to Blue Jays Baseball. Show Ali with you at Baseball Control in our downtown Toronto studios. Jays trail the Twins 3-1 at the Rogers Center as we head to the bottom of the 9th inning. Don't forget, we do have Jays Talk tonight. Blair and Barker have you covered. They will take your calls. Blair's down in the booth with the guys. He will throw out the numbers to call after the final out. I'm certain the offense will be a subject of discussion. Once again, you want to talk Kikuchi, the bullpen, IKF, whatever you like, Blair and Barker. We'll get to it on Jays Talk. Blue Jays Baseball brought to you by Crown Rust Protection. Jays trail at 3-1. Bottom 9. Here's Ben Schulman and Chris LaRue.
Thank you very much, Joe. Griffin Jacks closing today for the Minnesota Twins. We enter the bottom of the 9th inning with Minnesota up 3-1 on Toronto. For Jacks, it's his 19th appearance of the year, 7th save opportunity. He's 4 for 6 this year. Starts with Justin Turner and a 2-run lead. The pitch to Turner is a fastball ripped in there at 97, 0-1. Potent mix for Griffin Jacks. Throws a sweeper, a ton, and the next pitch grounded softly to short. Backhanded by Correa. His throw to first. Turner goes down 0 for 4 on the day, and there's one out here in the bottom of the 9th.
And that changeup from Griffin Jacks was 91 miles an hour. It looked more like a split. It had the good downward action. He calls it a changeup, but at 91 miles an hour, I tend to think that has more split action than changeup action.
And that's really his third weapon after the sweeper and the fastball. A whole host of changes, by the way, for the Twins in the 9th. First, the pitch to Danny Jansen, called strike 1. Just the effect of Kepler pinch hitting for Jose Miranda has completely shifted around the defense. We'll get to it in a sec, but first the Blue Jays down 3-1, bottom of the 9th, 1 out, and the 0-1 to Jansen's called strike 2. I'll try to get to them. I don't know if the Blue Jays are going to give me time here, but Kepler remains in the game. He goes to right field. He pinch hit for the third baseman in Miranda. 0-2, fouled off.
The only one you have to get to is Montreal's own Eddie Julien at second base.
All right. Well, I was trying to create a path here. So it's Kepler into right. The right fielder, Margot, moves over to left field. The left fielder, Martin, is replaced by Eddie Julien, who goes to second. And over from second to third is Kyle Farmer. 1-2 pitch to Jansen, make it the 0-2 in the dirt. Now 1 ball and 2 strikes.
You always have to preface it with Montreal's own.
I believe it's Quebec City's own, actually.
Whatever.
I mean, I think the people of Quebec City appreciate that distinction. Yeah.
You're upset would be.
The 1-2. Jansen takes down and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Julien likely to start tomorrow with a right-hander on the mound for the Blue Jays. Left-handed swinger didn't get in to the game until the end here as a defensive replacement, with Yusei Kikuchi starting. 2-2. Jansen bends his knee and takes a pitch outside. 3 straight balls here from Jax, and it's a full count. Blue Jays just need a base runner here, and the tying run is at the plate. Meanwhile, Bo Bichette waits on deck behind Danny Jansen. 3-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Chase to sinker low of the zone. There are 2 outs. Blue Jays with their final life coming up right now. It's Bo Bichette.
That was a tough sinker from Griffin Jax on the inner third of the plate. Started in the strike zone and kind of sunk down, and Danny Jansen swings right over it. Tell you what, the back end of this bullpen, this Minnesota Twins bullpen, is pretty good.
John Schneider mentioned that scoring off the starter would be important with how good this Twins bullpen is. The Blue Jays down 3-1. Bo Bichette takes strike 1. Toronto scored 1 run off of Joe Ryan in 7 innings. 2 outs and the bases empty. Bichette 1 for 4, singled back in the 4th inning. 1 for 3, pardon me. 1 pitch is low. 1 ball and 1 strike. Twins looking for a 16th win in 18 games. 1-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. Bichette chases the sweeper away, and the Blue Jays down to their final strike as it's 1-2. Jackson the set. Looks towards Bichette. The pitch. In the dirt. Ball 2. Toronto looking to stage dramatic comeback down 3-1. The 2-2 pitch is hooked on the ground into left field. A base hit. Wasn't the hardest hit ball of the day, but it found the right spot in between Correa and Farmer on the left side. It's a 2-hit day for Bo Bichette, and the tying run is being represented right now at the plate by Cavan Biggio.
Yeah, I think regardless of how this game turns out, that this is a game that Bo Bichette has to take some positives away from. 2 base hits, a good line drive to right field. I don't want to say he's on the right path, but it's definitely a good thing for his confidence to get 2 hits.
Cavan Biggio trying to make it matter. Blue Jays down 3-1, 2 outs in the first pitches. Swung on and missed. Strike 1. Bottom of the 9th at Rogers Center in the first of 3 between the Blue Jays and the Twins. Next pitch to Biggio. Swing and a miss way behind the fastball. And it's 0-2. Second batter in a row where the Blue Jays get down to their final strike. IKF on deck. Bichette not being held on at first. 0-2. Bo takes off. And Biggio takes a hair outside to keep the game alive. Bichette will take second on defensive indifference. No stolen base. And it's a 1-ball, 2-strike count. Two home runs for Biggio against the Twins last year of his 9. He takes the 1-2 pitch down and in. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
And I think Cavan Biggio got lucky right there. That was a good pitch from Griffin Jax. I think it caught the inside part of that strike zone.
Christian Vasquez did drop the ball, though, and that could have obstructed the view potentially of home plate umpire Tom Hanahan. 2-2 count, 2 outs, and a runner on. Biggio's the tying run. The pitch. Low ball 3. If you go back to June 11th of last year, Cavan Biggio, with the Blue Jays trailing at that point 6-4, hit a go-ahead 3-run home run off Emilio Pagan to give Toronto a 7-6 win. Facing a full count. The pitch. Downstairs, ball 4. And the Blue Jays will put the tying run on the bases and bring the winning run to the plate in Isaiah Kiner-Falefa.
Well, Isaiah Kiner-Falefa is 2 for 3 today. He's clearly seeing the baseball very well. Outside of Vlad, he's probably the guy that I want up in this situation.
Kiner-Falefa responsible for the only Blue Jays run today. They're down 3-1. It was his solo homer in the 3rd that briefly had us tied. He also singled in the 5th and struck out in the 7th. Meeting on the mound right now, Pete Mackey, the pitching coach, out there, although that's being broken up by the home plate umpire as we speak. And Toronto will ask for another big swing potentially out of Kiner-Falefa Cole Sands remains up and loosening. He's been up a few times today, the right-hander for the Twins. Toronto with a contingency plan as well should the game continue. Jimmy Garcia is standing right now in the left field pen. Second time he's been up today. Tying run on first in Biggio, winning run at the plate. 3-1, 2 outs, and the first pitch to IKF fouled off. 0-1.
And keep in mind, Griffin Jax only has 9 career saves, so his heart is beating pretty fast out there in a situation like this.
He blew 2 this year. He's 4 for 6. He was 4 for 11 last year. 0-1. Swinging a pop-up foul into the seats behind the plate. And for the third straight batter, the Blue Jays are down to their final strike. It's no balls and 2 strikes to IKF. He's the winning run. On first is Biggio, the tying run. Bo Bichette out on second. 2 outs in the bottom of the ninth. 3-1 Twins lead. Jax kicks and delivers. IKF bounces a ball to first, and it eats up Santana. Bichette around third, he'll score. Biggio over to third, standing. Calvin Biggio screens Carlos Santana on a bouncing ball hit at the base runner, and Santana can't make the play. It's 3-2.
Well, Isaiah Kiner-Falefa just did what he does best. He fights off a tough pitch from Griffin Jax, puts the bat on the baseball, and finds a way to keep this inning going, scoring Bo Bichette. Now it's 3-2 Blue Jays. Sorry, 3-2 Twins.
And it looked like Santana had to peek around Biggio, who had to stop to make sure the ball didn't hit him, but also got in the eye line of the first baseman. So now the winning run on first base, the tying run 90 feet away from the plate. Here's Ernie Clement, 1 for 3. First pitch, down and away, ball 1. They call it a single for Kiner-Falefa to right field. So that's his third hit of the day and second RBI. Blue Jays fans re-energized here. The 1-0. Breaking ball in there, right down the middle for strike 1.
And there is a huge hole on the right side of that infield. Carlos Santana holding on IKF at first base, and Eddie Julian almost behind second base. I know Ernie Clement loves to pull that baseball, but I'd try to take that one into right field if I was him.
Christian Vasquez giving some signs to the defense. You wonder if the Blue Jays try to eliminate a force with a steal at first. It's IKF at first. The 1-1. Clement hits it off the rear end of the pitcher. It caroms to Santana, and that's the game. The Blue Jays get a good hop one batter before and then get the worst of bounces as the Clement liner ricochets off the pitcher directly at the first baseman. It hits a quarter of an inch off his body anywhere else, and it might have been a base hit to tie the game. Instead, the Twins win 3-2.
Yeah, that's just a tough break, not only for Ernie Clement, but for the Blue Jays. Wow, what a way to end a ball game there.
Toronto falls 3-2 in the series opener in a pitcher's duel between Yusei Kikuchi and Joe Ryan. We'll take a quick step aside, wrap it up on the other side, and get you over to Blue Jays talk. But again, Toronto loses today to Minnesota 3-2 in the series opener at Rogers Center. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Hi, I'm Buck Martinez, live from the showdown between Pizza and inflation. First to the plate, with over 2 million sold, it's Fixed Rate Pizza, a hot and fresh extra-large 4-topping pizza for a fixed price of $17.99 until the end of 2024. Here's the delivery. And inflation strikes out. That's a swing and a drive for Fixed Rate Pizza. Lock in yours today.
Order pizza.ca. At Crown Rust Control Center, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control Center is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know spring's the best time of year to protect your vehicle from rust? For a special spring offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Strike 3. Kevin Gausman strikes out the side.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome back to Rogers Center. The Blue Jays fall in Game 1. A nail-biter ends 3-2 as Toronto leaves the tying run on third base and the winning run on first base to end this series opener against the Twins. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Appreciate you sticking around. And if you're tuning in right now to get to Blue Jays Talk with Blair and Barker, we'll get you over there in just a couple of minutes. Chris, we're going to talk about the struggles, the times that they probably should have scored more. But let's get right into our player of the game, because it's hard to ignore what he did today. The Blue Jays player of the game certainly goes to the lefty starter, Yusei Kikuchi. Take a listen to some of his best moments. Kikuchi leaning forward, listening to the pitch comm. Danny Jansen goes to his right knee and makes the call. The 3-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Got him to chase the curve down low. It's a 1-2-3, top of the second for Yusei Kikuchi. 2-2, swing and a miss, strike 3. The rare changeup from Kikuchi gets a wild wave from Margot. It's the second Kikuchi strikeout and the 10th batter retired in a row.
Well, out of Yusei Kikuchi's 97 pitches today, he threw 68 strikes, and that was the key for him today. He was throwing a ton of strikes, specifically with that fastball. When he can locate that fastball, there's nobody better than him in the big leagues. He's got that big fastball, that good curveball now. We talked about him having so much confidence in that thing recently, and when he can throw strike one and get ahead, and I'm talking any hitter in this entire league, he will be a dominant pitcher.
Kikuchi just feels like gets better and better every time that we see him pitch. He went 8 innings today, the most he's thrown since 2019, which actually was here at Rogers Center, a shutout he threw against the Blue Jays. Gave up 4 hits in those 8 innings, 2 earned runs, no walks, 3 strikeouts, and even the hits in the first were kind of, a bloop, and they were hits all the same, but weak ground balls that found holes. And Carlos Santana hit a pitch down and away out of